This is Quinn Gray Sr., head football coach here at Florida A&M University. I'm excited to be home and I'm excited to get started. I'm looking forward to building on the foundation that have been laid by our predecessors. That foundation allows us to make sure that we are all in. All in for us is attitude, little things, love, intelligence, and now. With that, it also encompasses our pride, our accountability, and making sure that we're doing what's right and what's best for our university. With that, the Restore the Strike campaign has now begun. $250,000 is what we're trying to raise for our student athletes here on campus. We're asking for donations of $250, $500, and $1,000 to build the momentum taking this thing into the 2026 season. We're asking that all of you are all in, just as I am, here on campus. Click the link below and make sure that you're all in with myself and Rattler football.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another live episode of the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. I'm Bryan Fulford. That's Kelvin Rozier.
What up, y'all?
JR, what's good, baby?
Oh, all is well, man. A lot of positive, a lot of news coming out of Rattler Nation. We got coaches coming on board. We got players returning out of the portal. We got a big basketball series coming up the next couple of days, man. There's a lot to be excited about in Rattler Nation. And we got a fundraisers.
Yes. Fundraisers. All right. Good stuff. Well, Kelvin, I think there is a legitimate moratorium on how many days into 2026 or into a new year that you can say Happy New Year. But given the fact that this is our first show,
Happy New Year, everybody.
Exactly. We'll say it one time at the start of the show. Happy New Year, everybody. This is our first show of 2026. And so now that we've done with that, you shouldn't be saying Happy New Year anymore. I think I personally think there's like a 5-day moratorium on saying that,
Well, it's 7. And then I hadn't put the wrong year on anything. Well, I guess I really ain't had to sign too much though. But that usually it usually takes me a couple of weeks to not slip up anymore. Put 2025.
Exactly. Yep. Good stuff. Well, a lot of news happening. A lot of news will be happening. We got a loaded show for you. The third member of our team, Marcus Green, he's on assignment, dealing with some, taking care of some business here in the first hour. So hopefully he will be with us in hour number 2, because the news out of the transfer portal and all the recruiting news.
He got
hot and heavy, man. Marcus is on it. And so, but he left us out here. He left us out here in the breeze.
Yeah,
with our doors open.
We were going to start the show off with all that. And we had to pivot.
Exactly.
I ain't throwing nobody on the bus.
We say, hey, don't blame us. We gonna start, and you be like, hey, what y'all doing? Well, look, we had plan A, and then we had to pivot real quick to go to plan B. So it is what it is. Want to thank everybody who's supported the show in 2025. You supported the show since day one. We thank you. We salute you. Kelvin and I in Daytona Beach this past weekend. Good to see Rattler Nation out. Those we saw.
Bull and family and Miss Suggs and even former NFL pro player and a guy I used to Coach Sam Matters was in the house supporting the Rattlers.
Okay, I must have missed that.
You did. Well, you were sitting right next to him when he left and he came and tapped me on the shoulder. But when I was talking to him, yeah, you was doing something else.
All right, yeah, that's but so you know, I don't know. I'm about to swear off going to that gymnasium again. It's like that house of horrors. But anyway, we'll get into talking about that doubleheader against Bethune-Cookman on Saturday, man. Oh, Jesus. But you know, we got to make up for it this weekend. A home doubleheader. The women are playing Grambling State. That's going to be a tough one on Thursday. Then we've got the doubleheader against Southern on Saturday. And then Coach Pat comes back to Tallahassee. He's bringing his Grambling State Tigers.
You think he'll have an edge? Well, no. So it goes.
Yeah. We got is Grambling's the doubleheaders against Southern.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, doubleheaders against Southern. So that means we get the women, Grambling State women on Thursday, and then the men from Grambling State come on Monday.
So you think Coach Pat gonna have a little extra juice?
All I told him was to beat BCU. That's all I told him. I was like, he was like, I'm excited to come back to Florida. I just said hashtag beat BCU and just left it alone. I don't want to give Coach Pat no.
He gonna fabricate. He gonna fabricate something anyway.
Exactly.
You know.
Don't give Coach Pat no motivation online, please, on social, because you know he will take the smallest thing. He will take the smallest thing and use it. I love that man. He'll take the smallest thing and use it as motivation. So please.
Hey, Bryan, I stayed away from. I ain't gonna lie. I done stayed away from. I'm gonna wait till you show up before I even speak.
Exactly. It'd be like, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just kind of don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So a good weekend. It's a Florida, Louisiana matchups going on this weekend. I think the other matchups in the SWAC, you got Louisiana and Texas, I think, is going on. Mississippi and Louisiana, I think, is going on. Something like that. But anyway, we'll get into a little bit of that with our guests coming up on the show tonight. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we got Rick Kinsey, Rattlers-In-Arms. Of course, one of the, we'll talk to him about the fundraising drive, the All-In Restore to Strike campaign. You saw the video there with Coach Gray. Of course, you had Coach Joe. We even had Coach Rudy Hubbard.
Yes, sir.
They got Coach Rudy Hubbard to make a video as well. I had some trouble downloading that one, so I if I can find a way to get it downloaded, I will maybe air that one as well. But I think we played the Coach Joe one last week, and I'll play that a little bit later in the show as well. And then in hour 2, our good friend Antilla. LivForHoops, aka LivForHoops. You know, she's everywhere. She's doing shows, mid-show reports, national rankings. She's writing now. You know, Liv is turning into a global basketball superstar. And so we are humbled and honored that she'll find time in her very busy schedule to come join us. Bring it back home. You know, this is home. It's like where it started. So
we're gonna claim it anyway, but it really was when we were. I think we were the first to notice her and put it on. But no, she's a stream talent, man. She's doing just an awesome job, and you know all these things are happening because you know she's that talented. Frankly,
she's good. She's good at what she does, man. She's good at what she does. So can't wait to talk to Liv coming up. And, it was always fun. I was texting and talking to her during the game. And so I'm sure she had like multiple TVs on while she's watching the Fan BCU game as well as other stuff. And, so we'll talk to Liv coming up here at the hour. You want to do roll call or can we get right into it?
This is the first of the year since we were gonna skip it because of what we had planned, but now that that's not planned, let's go and do roll call.
All right, first one in for the new year. Jimmy Mack. What up, Jimmy Mack? Happy New Year.
What's up, J-Mac?
First one in. Good to see you, brother. Let me see. Ken Rozier got in there as well.
What's up, Ken Alice? Happy New Year.
Again, Happy New Year. Meredith, Happy New Year.
What's up, Meredith?
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Ashton Harris, Happy New Year, brother.
What's up, Pico?
Good to see you. Marvin Allen as well. Good to see you, Marvin. Happy New Year. Sweet, checking in. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. B. Starks in the house. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Yep. Makiba West. Hey there. Thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for Happy New Year. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Marcus. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. What up, Marcus? Happy New Year, brother. Let's see. Mary 305. Good to see you, Mary. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Kingdom Building 87. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
What's going on, Kingdom?
My guy, Tony Mack. Hey, what up?
Hi.
Hi. Checking in.
Gail.
Checking in from Cleveland. This is for you. What up, Gail? Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Edwin Moore.
What's up, Edwin?
Happy New Year, brother. Thank you for coming in. Emmett Jones. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. Skipping down some. Let's see. Reggie Delane checking in. Good to see you, Reggie. Tamara T. Hey, Tamara. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Happy New Year to you as well. Little baby. Happy New Year.
What's up, little baby? Big little baby.
There he is, Boo. Checking in.
What's up, Boo?
Checking in. Good to see you again. We already said Happy New Year to you. It's all good. Let's see. DQ Will. Happy New Year.
What's up, DQ?
Thank you for checking in. Thank you for checking in. Ron Jab. Good to see you, Ron.
What's up, Jab?
Miss you over at Daytona Beach. Unless he was over there, I don't know. I saw Ron at the game last year.
Yeah,
I should say the last season.
He probably sitting. He probably sitting on the BCU side. You know,
You know what? That's where I saw him last time. That's where I saw him last time over there on the beach.
You got to do what he got.
It's all good. It's all good. You know, they actually had a pretty good crowd. I'm gonna give them some credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, they had a really good enthused crowd, man, and so maybe all that noise that we kind of talk about, the atmosphere not being good for the start of the season. I still don't think it's good, but whatever. They had a good crowd. The only thing that was missing was the Wildcats, but they pumped in the music and all that good stuff. So, yeah. What up, Steve Campbell checking in?
What's up, Steve?
Mr. Campbell checking in. Make sure you check out HBCU Coach's Corner. Good to see you. Let me see. Teal Dog 12. Can't wait till Friday. Can't wait.
I'll be there.
What's going on Friday, Kelvin? Something big's going on Friday? What I miss?
We're gonna talk about it.
Karen Griffin, what up, Karen? Greetings from the West Coast.
What's up, Karen?
Thank you for checking in. Good to see you, Karen. Happy New Year to you. Kelvin is, give me your props there. Kelvin is looking a little dapper today.
Busy man. Good days, bad days.
Let me see. Hello. Checking in. Good to see you. Wow. I got to put this up there. Watch JDTV. Man, look,
But show you right.
I don't know about ever, man, but thank you, man. Thank you. That warms my heart. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. Thank you, man. Thank you. Edwin Moore. I think I already hit Edwin, but that's all right. If not, good to see you again. Yep. The press conference is Friday.
Yep.
Noon. We'll talk about that here in a second. High noon. Chuck Hunt checking in. Good to see you, Chuck. Happy New Year, brother. Thank you for checking in with us. Good to see you. Demetra. Hey, Demetra. Happy New Year to you. JT. Good to see you, JT.
What's up, Mitra? JT.
Did I miss JT? Yeah, there you go. I don't know, little baby. Just as we said, shh. You know, it's just another game. Shh. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Just another game. Just another game, baby. Don't hype it up. Don't hype it up more than what it is. Just a regular season old conference game. Set third game of the season. Do not hype that game up on social media. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Please, Rattler Nation. Please. We don't duck no smoke. We don't duck no smoke, but I'm bringing a fan to that one, Kelvin. I'm bringing a fan. We're gonna blow the smoke away. You know? We don't duck it. We're gonna blow the smoke away. How about that? Road Dog Reed, Mike. What up, Mike?
What's up, Road Dog?
Good to see you, Mike. Finally got out that cold weather. V and Matt. Woo. Great question. What are those dudes in the portal gonna do when they don't get the call? Guys stay in the portal. Yeah, exactly. You go to college
with no home.
Yeah,
they be homeless.
Yeah, you be in the portal. Yeah, stay in the portal. Go
with
get a college degree. Yeah, get a college degree. Do something, because that's what's gonna happen to some people. Oh, look. My girl's checking in. Yes, you are.
Olivia.
May not be okay. She want to downplay it. Nationwide star. There you go. See, we love you, Liv. Always proud of your success. Proud of everything you out there.
Absolutely.
Doing. NC Rattler 919. Yeah, he was supposed to. Yeah, well, again, we understand relationships matter. Let me see who else is in here before we get going. EA is in there. Good to see you, EA. Happy New Year. Lacella's 14. Happy New Year. Checking in from Charleston, South Carolina. Kerry Daniels checking in. Duval in the house.
Duval. Let's go, Jack.
Love in the house. Happy New Year. Let me see. Keith checking in. Good to see you, Fangs Up podcast.
What's going on,
Keith checking in. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. I think I'm all caught up. I'm caught up. Okay, so. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff, Rattlers. All right. Well, hold on. Let me do one thing here, Kelvin, and then we can kind of dog it. FAMU and this whatever it is. All right. Well, here I'll do the good old share screen. You know, when all else fails, you go to the share screen. Coming up on Friday. Something that's going on Friday. Big old press conference is happening.
Yes, sir.
Introductory press conference is happening. Of John F. Davis, the FAMU Vice President and Director of Athletics, and Quinn Gray Sr., FAMU head football coach. Friday, the Al Lawson Center. I'm sure that will be in the arena.
Yep.
Kind of similar to what they did with Charlie Ward.
Yep.
Okay. So that's happening noon. Hopefully it's streaming online. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
I think I did see where they said it would be.
Yeah. So let's address the elephant in the room. All right. The big elephant in the room that I've heard a lot of people banter about is why maybe 1A and 1B. Why is there not why are they having two introductory press conferences at the same time? Or maybe 1B, Quinn Gray should have his own press conference on the same day. Kelvin, I'll let you start on this one.
Well, I mean, we might as well just introduce everybody at one time. There's no need to do two separate ones, because if you do that, it's going to be a big discrepancy in who shows up. Because at the end of the day, the real star of this press conference is going to be Coach Gray. No disrespect.
Coach Gray has to go last. He has to go last.
No disrespect to AD Davis, but people coming to see the new coach and to hear what he got to say.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you do the ceremonial introduction of the new director of athletics. Let him hear. And if he is about his wits, he too will understand that folks ain't there to hear him. So it will be very wise if he is very short, maybe a quick paragraph of welcome. And don't try to tell us everything. We don't want to know everything. Don't tell us everything. Just tell us you're happy to be there. You're proud to be part of the growth and resurgence, and you're all in, and you're restoring the strike. Come on, we can put up something in Chat GPT and have it knocked out in like 2 minutes. We've shown that on another show.
That's what I was gonna say. Do about a 2-minute presser. Do a 2-minute high speak. And then introduce your head ball coach.
And introduce your head ball coach. Let the president introduce John Davis.
You might get some applause if you do that.
Exactly. You do it right, you get some applause. Let President Johnson or AD Suggs, let them introduce John Davis, one of the two. And then let John Davis introduce Quinn Gray, and then get out the way. And then let Quinn talk. That's what folks will be here to see.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be good. It'll be streamed live. Now, one of the things that I think any post game, I don't know, you have to take me back, Kelvin, to now I don't remember. Well, no, they did have something like this I remember the cozy one was outdoors, but they had something that was when Willie, Coach Simmons, was there. What do you recall?
It was in Gaither Gym.
Was it in Gaither?
Yeah, that one was in Gaither Gym. I think we had just done the floor, maybe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, his Coach Simmons was in Gaither.
Okay. So I don't know if they'll do any Q&A on the spot. Did they do any Q&A with Simmons or?
Honestly, it was lightly attended because I think it was kind of rushed and put together. But the media that was there, what they ended up doing was after the press conference doing one-on-ones where he sat down with the local news and a Democrat reporter and basically gave them clips for their articles and show.
Okay. So the article on FAMUathletics.com does give an outline. The press conference will feature remarks from university leadership, including President Johnson, followed by comments from Davis and Gray. The press conference will be live streamed on FAMU social media platforms. So kind of like I spelled it out. President Johnson will get up. She'll probably, have a few remarks, keep them short. President Johnson, I know you know how to do that. Introduce John Davis. John Davis, hey, welcome to FAMU. 2 minutes, be in and out, and then get out the way and let Quinn Gray have the moment. That's how we hope that happens. So there you go. Now, what has happened since? Now, obviously, the official announcement came December 23rd, like a couple days before Christmas. The transfer portal opened on the 2nd of January, which was Friday, and it's been hot and heavy. But two things have been going on over this period of time, Kelvin. You've had Coach Gray and the building of his staff, and at the same time, you've had the players who have, if I recall, there was probably an initial list of about 19 guys who had expressed an interest to opt into the portal or go into the portal, and some who actually did. But what we've seen of late is we've seen a few names come out. But so let's pause on talking about the players for a minute. and I maybe we shouldn't. I don't want to get too deep into this because we got to get to our first break, so we get to our first guest. But I'll give you a chance to kind of maybe give a thought about what you like so far from some of the names. And you don't have to get deep into the woods with the names. We'll do that a little bit later. But what you like from what you have seen so far from Coach Gray in the building of not only his staff, but players.
Well, I always say that your resume does matter and experience matter. I always say that FAMU is not a place where you learn on a job and be successful. And you see it in Coach Gray's approach to what he's building. If you look at some of the names and the folks he's bringing in, they have successful experience. Some current coaches at other institutions, they had jobs and they decided to come join his staff. Some have been successful coordinators already in the SWAC. A lot of them have NFL experience, played multiple years, and one is pretty much a Hall of Fame type player, one of the position coaches, and then on top of that, but he's been coaching. Just had the best running game in FCS this past season. A lot of people who got Florida connections. Recruiting should be off the chain, and these, you can tell by the guys who coming out of the portal too. These are names that are recognized, and anybody who got any aspirations of going to the next level, proving it with this staff, and then having them to talk to the people at the next level and put their name behind it, it carries weight. So I think his approach is very sober approach, but it's ambitious. So, a lot of times I say we ain't ambitious enough. We had like, well, we got to stay in this lane right here and stay, because we can't afford this. No, my man swinging for the fences, bro. And I'm here for it.
Yes, indeed. We'll get into talking about some of the names. You probably maybe you got a hint a little bit. Kelvin gave you a hint if you were paying attention. But and again, all of these, anything that we talk about today, it's not official. Obviously, we'll await the official, but we feel pretty confident that it's worth mentioning some of these names.
Word on the street. We're going to have some word on the street.
We're going to have some word on the street. Exactly. Word on the street for 2026. Okay. You guys hang tight for this short break, because coming up on the other side, our good friend of the program, Rick Kinsey with Rattlers-In-Arms, is going to get with us and get us going for 2026. We're going to talk about the All-In campaign and just how about this? What 2026 needs to look like from a fundraising perspective. Maybe that'd be always a great way to start the year with Rick and get us in the mindset of how we should give, what we should be giving for and towards and all that good stuff. So I know Rick's in the background. He's no pressure there. So we'll get into talking. We'll get into talking about all that.
Rick don't feel no pressure, man. He ain't new to this. He true to this.
There you go. Exactly. So coming up on the other side, Rick Kinsey coming up on right after this break. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone. Hit the thumbs up and the like button, Rattler Nation. We know you love us. We know you come in to find out what's going on the highest of Seven Hills. We keep people talking, and so we got a lot to talk about and a lot to brag about. And we'll be back in just a moment, right after this short break.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food?
Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp,
Tofu and Rasta pasta?
well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock.
In downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m.
Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock.
In downtown Atlanta.
For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992.
Or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com.
For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant.
Authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
It's the 37th Annual Zora Festival. It's in Edenville, Florida, Saturday, January 31st and February the 1st. On Saturday, the all-white party tribute to Frankie Beverly with bass guitarist Jubu. Bread, Sunset, and Taisha Williams. And on Sunday, the Line Dance Party Live with Jeter Jones, Mike Clark Jr., and Boss Lady Coco. Tickets available at zorafestival.org.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here, and Happy New Year to our brother Rick Kinsey, Colonel Rick Kinsey. Happy New Year. Hold on, we don't hear you. We don't hear you. I don't hear you. You on mute? Let me see.
Hear me now?
Oh yeah, we got you. There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
Okay. Yeah, Happy New Year to you guys.
You know, Rick looked like Benjamin Button. Looked like, for some reason, Rick looked like about 10 years younger than
I'm glad you said it, because I was thinking that myself. I'm like, what did Rick do? I mean, man.
Santa Claus was good to him.
Well, no, when we got a new coach, man, he told me to come out and try out for the team. So in order to do that, you got to look a little younger, right?
I got you.
I've been working out, man. I've been working out.
Okay. Looks good on you.
Hey, thank you guys. Man, you guys look good as well.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for a good, successful 2025, and I'm looking forward to doing good things in 2026. And, you know, when you guys allow me to come on your show, man, great things happen. And I want to thank you so very much for that, because I think the last time we were on the show, one of you guys talked it into fruition that, man, wouldn't it be nice to do a fundraiser for the next head coach that's coming up?
Yeah.
And I said, be careful what you say on this show. Be careful what you say on this show. See? Yeah, exactly. So, you know, because guess what? A fundraiser might just pop up, right?
Right.
So,
sure enough,
man, we got great news in December. You know, we brought one of our own back home, And I'm happy to say that we're so happy to be a part of the All In and restoring the strike. And I'm just so happy to be a part of that.
Rick, before we get into talking particulars, I'm curious about what goal. Can you give us maybe a behind the curtain view of how all of this works? Because it was very organized, strategic. Yes. Everybody was on the same page.
Yes.
Let us know, because
it rolled out really good.
Yes.
It really did. So let us know kind of what went into all of that.
Right. So, you know, after your last show, when we talked about wouldn't it be nice if somebody did a fundraiser? So what was going on, led by the foundation, Brandy Tatum and her team, Marvin Green is the lead. Just so happened to be a frat brother, so of course I'm wearing the colors because he led this initiative. So we were on the phones having communication with several organizations at the same time. Said, you know, we stated that, hey, this needs to be a coordinated attack. We need to all launch at the same time. The minute the new head coach is announced, we need to drop this fundraiser. And everybody, when I say everybody, and I'm talking about the National Alumni Association was on that call, the Boosters was on that call, the F Club, the 220 Club, the Rattlers-In-Arms, and the Men of Kappa Alpha Psi Alpha Z chapter. And we had some folks, individuals, Big Daddy, Laura Cobb, and Hattie Alexander and Emmett and Lakeisha Gaines down in Fort Lauderdale. So we had some of the major heavy hitters and stakeholders on this particular call. And it was amazing because it was being led by the foundation, in which an initiative like this should be. And we came on at the same time. Everybody was on the same sheet of music. And it was lovely, man, for once to say, can you believe we don't brought all the entities together for an initiative such as this? And when we said the minute he is announced, I don't know that I think 5 minutes later, the link went up and money started rolling in. And I'm happy to hear you tonight to tell you that we already over $75,000. What's important to me is that we got over 211 donors.
Right.
Imagine that, right? So the excitement is in the air. So that's Bryan, that's what went on behind the scenes, man. So we were really coming together. And this is what I'm talking about. When Rattlers come together, we can make things happen. And I think that it shows the world that FAMU will come together. And as you all know, when the Board of Trustees were coming on, when we brought on President Johnson, one of our Board of Trustees, and I call his name out, Deveron Gibbons, was saying that we don't give and we don't support, you know, in the way we should. Well, you know, $75,000 in less than 3 weeks ain't a bad lift, by the way. And we still got more to go at 250. So I would say we you know, 1/3 of the way, 2/3 of the way there, 1/3 of the way there. So, but I feel good. I think that we're going to hit that number. And so, but Bryan, to your point, that was going on behind the scene. And I think more things like this, as you all heard me say before on your show, imagine if each class took an Olympic sport and raised about $20,000, right? So the class of 82 says, hey, we're going to take bowling.
Right.
That's all they focus on, right? So we just don't come to homecoming and write one big check for an endowment fund, you know. And so I think that with Brandy at the helm over at the foundation, getting Marvin Green to lead this as the major gift officer for athletics and the band, he's doing a spectacular job. So my hat's off to that team for bringing all the key players in, because this is their initiative, and we're just so happy to be a part of it.
Nice. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Yeah, Rick. So what is the goal? I know the money-wise was the goal, but what was the concept behind what are we trying to target with that money that is raised?
Well, as you all know, you know, we didn't want this to be about NILs, right? And we know that they need monies to travel, recruit, and we want to talk, you know, providing some of the things that he needs on a continuous basis. Because too often, as you all know, they always asking for muscle milk, for instance, right? So can you imagine when you bring in a new coach and look at what budget that he's operating under, and when he realized that, hey, I got a team of folks that's coming together that's giving me the financial resources that I need, okay, to go out and do some of the things that I want to do. Right. So when you look at what does it take, and this is just a very small part, because as you know, football requires a lot of funding. So $250,000 ain't gonna do it by any means, right? By any means of stretch of the imagination. So what we wanted to do was, hey, how can we bring in this new coach and let him know that we stand behind him, right? And give him some of the resources that he needs from this alumni base to get him started to go out and do the recruiting, okay? And so we're not looking at paying assistant coaches salary. It's not doing any of that. So I don't want anybody to be confused that, hey, why are we doing it? This is not what those funds are for. They're targeted specifically to assist him with things that he's going to need to make that team stronger and better. So we're always looking at things from the equipment side of things, the technology side of things that will allow him to make that team technically and savvy, and use the tools that he needs to make us better. Okay. Now I wish we could build them a facility, but that's not on us, right? And one day I would hope to see the field house, 2 stories, an expansion, not a paint job, right? But truly an expansion. I want to see a bigger weight room. I want to see it expanded to the practice field, right? I would like to see that. So our guys leave the facility, go straight down to the practice field. We can cover the practice field. Right. Other universities have done that, right? And show if we want a winning team, we have to do our part. Yes. And I think that, and having conversations with the boosters, they do understand that they got to pick up their momentum, because boosters are really the ones who support athletics, right? The NAA supports students, and Marvin's job is to come together with the AD, because it's the AD's job to buy equipment, to equip and train and do the things that he needs to do for all sports, right? It's not the Rattlers-In-Arms, it's not the 220 Club. The 220 Club takes on the responsibility of buying muscle milk, right? That's not their job. Right. Let's just be honest. So what I'm hoping that with this AD, when he comes on board, that he's looking at his full suite of sports and really go after some major money. When I say major money, I'm talking about in the millions. Right. Okay. And if we can get in the millions, I want to see a plan. And again, I'm gonna just use Milton Overton because and Rick Kinsey's mind, Milton Overton was one of the best ADs we had. He had a vision. He was a visionary. Okay. And when he talked about what he wanted to do and brought on the Investing in Champions, and when he did that rendition of what the stadium could look like, where we can build it, somehow we gotten away from that, right? And so what I hope John Davis can do is something that no other AD has done, and that is really bring in major sponsorships and talk about a plan within the next 5 to 10 years to renovate Bryan, to do something. Let it be 3. That's exactly. And if nothing else, do a major job to that field house, right? As you can all see, we finally got something done with the ROTC building. We have been in a meeting with Robinson since 2019, and here we are finally getting a major renovation to the ROTC building. Walls have been knocked down and those type of things. So that's what I hope for. I think Kelvin and Bryan, we're working toward that. But in this particular scenario, to bring all the stakeholders together who has raised money for athletics, to get us all on the same sheet of music for one common goal. When I tell you that if nothing else, that was beautiful. Imagine that. Okay. Yep. And again, Bryan, that was which really is not a major undertaking, but as you all know, we operate in silos. People get in their little feelings. Why you have to lead this? Why you have to lead that? It's not about that, folks. It's one FAMU. Yes. Either for FAMU or we not. Yes. And so, and I would say, you guys always have. I feel like I'm being set up when y'all bring me on the show. We got the major press conference that's taking place. You're announcing all these coaches and Clem Portis. I don't know if it's him or not. Curtis Porter or whoever the running back is from Washington. Oh yeah, I'm hoping he's one of the guys y'all bring. Oh yeah, I've been watching that Porter, and you notice players been getting out of the port all of a sudden and want to stay home. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So I always say, why does Kelvin and Bryan set me up like this? Because that's what the show is about, man. And so I'm just happy to say, look, we are raising money. We got over 211 donors, over $75,000. And folks, if you ain't all in, then you ain't for Quinn.
That's right.
Hey, look at that. There you go.
We wanted him.
Yep.
Show him that we wanted him, right? Because
right.
I was looking at Albany State and their new head coach and how they brought him in and did the video. I always watch other people and what other universities are doing. So what I hope after this press conference, man, I hope the university is ready to sell preseason tickets.
Yes.
If we're not, we missed the boat.
That's right.
Because we should drop that immediately. If nothing else, take reservations, $100 for preseason tickets.
Yes.
We got an opportunity. And at this press conference, we should be pushing that. Hey, all in for Quinn. Go to this website, click on this QR code. And oh, by the way, get your preseason tickets now. Because you don't want to miss this.
That's right.
We are restoring the strike. And this is what it's about.
Amen.
So let's talk that into fruition, right? So Kelvin, I'm gonna hope that you're gonna get over there and talk to the people at the ticket office and tell them be ready to drop the preseason reservations out.
I got you.
And we rolling, man.
I got you. Absolutely.
No, definitely it has to happen. Rick, when that meeting of all entities came together, did anybody come up and say, hey guys, we should do this again, maybe 3 months down the road, or maybe kind of make this a quarterly thing? Just curious, no pressure.
Well, I don't want to steal the university's restructure. I can't speak for the university, okay? But I think what you are seeing is, now that we got the new AD on board, I think what you're going to see is a more cohesive type advisory board of some type, I'm hearing, where people come together. Because now that we got an AD, he has to kind of lead this too. And we all have to be on one accord, because what you don't want to have, Bryan, is too often everybody's doing the same thing, but who's talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to hear what his priorities are. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to say, hey, your organization, we appreciate y'all supporting us, right? But this is our priorities, okay? So the boosters have a priority towards that. And the other organizations, I call them just icing on the cake, right? But to have us in the room as stakeholders and to be listening is amazing, man. Because what we did in that meeting, it was about how to win, not how to lose. You didn't have any egos in the way. Because, we can get very egotistical. But why we can't do this, right? And one of the things I was against, but I'm saying I lost that battle, but I'm along with the team. And we came up and they got these ambassadors on that link, as you all may have seen. That was one of the things I didn't want to push, because we all one team, one fight in this effort. And once you start getting these ambassadors, you start getting us in our own little groups, meaning that the F Club members want to be in the F Club, site. Mm-hmm. Rattlers-In-Arms want to be. I'm like, we are one FAMU in this effort. So what I'm asking anybody, don't lose sight of the ambassadors. Okay. Right. That just means that we're all pushing for the same effort. It is all going to all in for Quinn, and that's all that matters. And now to reach $250,000, somebody put in there January 31st. Well, I think the day is the 9th. And so we got some work to do, man. And y'all show is always timely, because it helps us continue to get the messaging out. Right. That we do want you truly to be all in for Quinn. And if you want to show the coach that you all in, we got an opportunity now to do something that we've never done before. Imagine raising $250,000. When the last time have we ever done something like this?
Right.
We were trying to say, hey, suggestions were at $1 million, $500,000. We had to be realistic. Got to set some realistic goals, right? Mm-hmm. And but to bring us all in, Bryan, I wish you all was on that call. I think, Kelvin, you always get some leaks in advance. You kind of knew we was going to be rolling something out, You didn't put it out. He held tight to it. I don't know who the leak is, and I was giving Kelvin information. I got to make sure, Kelvin, I take you off the email thread. I think sometimes you're on the text thread because I forget that, hey, Kelvin is on this text thread, right? He's supposed to be. But it was it was great, and I'm over the top because this is the way to start out 2026.
Yes.
A new head coach, a new AD, okay, and all in. And if we can raise that $250,000, that's a major statement.
Definitely is. And I applaud all of the parties that came together. It was a beautiful thing to watch roll out and watch us all kind of flood the internet with not only just the emails, the email messaging, everything was the Facebook, the Twitter, every social media, and every means of communication. Nothing was left out. So for the folks who like email, there was an email. For the folks who were on Facebook, there was that. For the Twitter folks, for the Instagram folks, everybody got a message somehow, some way, and it all said the same thing. I applaud everybody who was on that call, who was a part of it. Congratulations, and let's keep that momentum going in 2026. Let's keep that going.
And again, as you all seen with the coaches coming out, Billy Joe came out first. No, actually Quinn came out first.
Right.
To be all in. And Billy Joe, and then of course Rudy Hubbard. So you will continue to see certain things like that because I think that's important. It is. And I tell you, man, as I told you guys before, right? People don't understand what your show does for us. Okay. And that's free advertisement and marketing for FAMU having you guys on. Because, normally, maybe, fam, you should think about using y'all as the platform for FAMU because we need to somehow have a platform on a weekly basis where we talking all things FAMU, specifically sports, right? And why not have the O&G StrikeZone go ahead and take that off your shoulder and the university partner with you guys and y'all become that for us because we don't have that. And when I look at what University of South Florida has done, when I take a look at what Michigan did, I don't know if you guys saw what Michigan hired their coach. Michigan immediately put out a support package for all levels, right? $10 donors, $25 donors, $50 donors, and $100. Look, nobody has to be a part of it to smarts, right?
Yeah,
we can capture anything and do that, right? We want everybody to be a part. We don't want to leave nobody out. So all the Rattlers that are on the various Facebook pages who love Quinn and wanted Quinn so bad, well, this is your opportunity to be all in for Quinn and show him you want him, right? This is that time to say it's time to put up a shut up.
Amen. Rick, let me ask you before we close out with you, as we look forward into 2026, what are some goals or what kind of thinking should we have about our support, our fundraising efforts? And I mean, you can go anywhere you want to go with this, but I'm just thinking here at the start of the year, this is great that we have us thinking about fundraising and supporting. I'm thinking about how to manage my own funds and say, I want to get in at the beginning of the year. I want to give to this. I want to give some to this, give some to that. And then, so what are your thoughts there in just how we should?
Well, as I said too, Kevin, collectively, right, we have to be careful of what we call donor fatigue, right? We all are members of the same church, which is FAMU, right? And so collectively, we can do a lot. I don't want to hit every time you look up, Kevin, we're all donating something to the various causes. We have to be selective on how we do that. One thing we have to do, I think, is look strategic. And that is when you take a look at all those plaques around the Eternal Flame.
Right.
Those are $100,000 donors. Right. How about having Eternal Flame Club and we use them specifically for certain things? You can't hit them and nickel and dime them. Right.
Right.
That's an elite group. The Eternal Flame Club. All right. So we got to become strategic. And then we even challenge classes, like we said before, take on an Olympic sport.
I love that idea, by the way. I can't get enough of how much I love that idea.
Right. Don't just make it about homecoming with one big check presentation. How about taking on an Olympic sport, and we can do something there. Now, what I expect of the AD and even Marvin Green, we got to all stay in our lanes, right? Because we don't want to hit the same donors. Because you kind of get tired of that, as I like to say, right? And so every time you look up, the Rattlers-In-Arms asking for money. Well, no, we're not going into 2026 with that mentality, right? We got to hear what the AD has in mind, because we haven't heard what the AD has, right? So what I expect of the university is to go after major sponsorships. When they say major sponsors, I'm talking about $500,000 and above, man. Absolutely, that's what the university should target, right? They should come to us as church members. Right. The boosters do that. What I would hope the boosters would do is say, hey, Rick, can we take the Rattlers-In-Arms, the F Club, the 220 Club? Can we all work together for one common goal? You see what I'm saying? We're not egotistical in that way, Bryan. And I think that if we think strategic and get smart people in the room, like we are now, and say, what is the best way? Because we don't want to, as I call it, nickel and dime Rattlers. Yeah. Because we're going to get tired of it. Because you got people that are already in the F Club, the 220 Club, the same church members. They're just in different ministries within the church. So you force them to say, well, who am I going to give to? Well, you're giving to one FAMU. It doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in that. Right. So strategically, guys, what I think we should do, and this is just Rick Kinsey thinking out loud, the university, they're the corporate headquarters, focus on getting corporate dollars, right? The boosters should take this and say, hey, and then all I ask of classes, because every class is doing something, right? Imagine that. We only got 14 sports. Right. If I'm not mistaken. That's an easy lift. You know how many classes there are? 3 and 4 classes can take on bowling. 3 or 4 classes can take on baseball. Man, you want to talk about millions of dollars? That's an easy $1 million. And that's just in sports. Okay. And then we get to football. Anybody who played football, because I'm hoping Quinn do not let a former football player walk on that sideline unless he gives you $1,000.
Amen. There you go.
Okay. It ain't no freebies here, man. Yeah. Okay. It's $1,000 to walk on this sideline. You either gonna get that up or you can't walk on this sideline. I mean, it's as I told Marlon too, every Hall of Famer should buy in. You don't just become a Hall of Famer and then you walk away. No, you should have a financial requirement, okay, to support this, because that's what everybody else does. And so, let's look at creative ways so we don't get donor fatigue and get burned out. Because as you all know, you give to your church. I have to remind my pastor, I say 10% doesn't just include you. I mean, it's inclusive of you. Right. But it includes FAMU. It includes my high school. So, Bryan, see, that's my little bit of $10. Everybody gets part of that $10, right? Not just the church. So the pastor understands that. So what I think from you get smart people in the room. Yep. We come up with ways, as we're talking about now, target the classes. Let them take on Olympic sports, because that's not expensive. Our non-revenue sports, track and field, bowling, softball, $20,000 for those guys go a long way. They can buy equipment, and see that's what we need to focus on too. As most people don't know, when we raise money, I focus on equipment. I want to see things that's going to better our players, right? I'm not into that. Now we ain't painting no buildings. We ain't painting the walls. We ain't painting the dugout. But we're not doing it. We're buying pitching machines. Right. And as the softball team, they got this high-speed thing called a Rapsodo. You learn a lot about the technology that's out there. Yep. That's what we focus on. Why? Because that's going to last us 5 to 10 years. Coaches going to come and go. Players going to come and go. But the technology and the equipment, that's going to stay a while. So what I hope is, guys, going into 2026, that, again, we want your forgiveness. Yep. Okay? That's right. And we don't want to nickel and dime. You be strategic in your giving. And more important, we have to restore not only the strike, but restore the faith and hope and confidence in our donors that what we ask for, we're going to do and show you that we purchased what we said we were going to do. Because we got to get the faith back in our fan base that we do what we say we're going to do. Right. So what I'm hoping for, and I think 2026 is going to prove that when we raise this $250,000 here in a matter of the next 3 to 4 weeks, that's the start. And I think that all in for Quinn and restoring that strike across athletics in general, we are seeing that Rattlers are on one accord. And as we're saying, I don't care about bleeding orange and green. I believe in supporting our students and our student athletes. So if you believe in a FAMU, because there's only one.
That's right.
You have an opportunity, and every dollar counts.
Yes.
Okay? $5 count, man. So I beat up my kids right now. They tell me I'm carrying the load for them, but I hear that. But yes. So Bryan, I hope that, we get the smart people in the room. And this was the start of that. And so I would say that, again, thanks to boosters, the Cap Alpha Psi, the F Club, the 220 Club, Rattlers-In-Arms, and those, Lord Cobb, Hattie, those certain individuals, man. And I just hope that the foundation reach out to the elite, what I'm calling the Eternal Flame Club.
Yeah.
Because I think they can also throw in about $10,000 a year very easily. Now, I'm going to shut up on that because somebody going to call me and shoot me and say, who you speaking for, Rick? So, but that's what I hope for 2026.
You came up with a name.
We got name high, man.
You can't put this one on us.
No, I'm putting this on. So, but thank you guys again, and I really appreciate your platform, and it does, in fact, help us when we are asking for donations. You play a very important part of that, and I think Bryan, the leak in the strike zone, O&G StrikeZone is Kelvin. Somehow he makes his way. Kelvin always is in the right room at the right time. So now I understand what that's about. So again, guys, thank you so very much, and Happy New Year to you and your team. And I look forward to all in striking for Quinn.
Come on in.
Come on now. Come on now.
Amen. That's a bar. Thank you. Always.
O&G StrikeZone fans, I expect us, if we already over 75, I know we're going to be at 100K by Friday by press conference time.
Oh, without a doubt. That rollout would be the best number, right? Imagine going into the conference, the press conference, and that number rolls out that we just raised over $100,000 just that on the press conference. And then season tickets are rolling out. So I'm talking that into fruition. So family, if you're on the line to take it off, be prepared to roll out season tickets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, something related to season tickets.
I'm already on something, Rick. I'm already on.
Kelvin's on it. Appreciate you, Rick. Hey, have a great year. We'll talk to you soon. And be well.
Okay, guys. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
Good night.
All right. Always love to have Rick Kinsey joining the show. Yeah, definitely. We'll talk that into fruition, Kelvin. We got to have that. We know folks listen and watch the show. So, we don't hold claim to no ideas. So if anybody, we want to see that, season ticket deposits now, on the day of the press conference. Let's get it going, FAMU Athletics.
Makes a lot of sense. Why the momentum there? Why people are ready to give?
Oh yeah,
take that money.
Get them in while they ready. They got their checkbooks and their credit cards, and it's Friday too. A lot of people got paid on Friday, man. Shoot. I know I get paid on Friday. You might catch me feeling good on Friday, boy. Better come on, FAMU. Don't miss. Way too long, I'll be frustrated, and then who knows what happens Friday night. So better catch me at noon.
That's right.
All right. When we come back on the other side, our good friend Liv Antilla, aka LivForHoops. We're going to talk FAMU basketball, SWAC basketball, right on the other side. The Rattlers, the men and women, got a big weekend against the schools from Louisiana. And so we'll talk about that and more with our girl Liv on the other side. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We will be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2026? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 30th to February 1st, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Hello, I'm Billy Joe. I was the head football coach at FAMU from 1994 through the 2004 season, 11 years. I'm here to encourage you to join me in donating $250 or more to our new head football coaches program, Quinn Gray. He was a member of my FAMU program from 1997 to 2001, 5 years. Those 5 years were FAMU's golden years. We never lost to BCU during that time. We made the NCAA playoffs 5 straight years, and Quinn ran my Gulf Coast offense with precision and intelligence. We beat Troy State University twice and blew out Appalachian State on their own home field during those playoff runs. No HBCU football team has ever won 3 games in the NCAA playoffs in Division I AA. No SWAC team has ever won a game in the NCAA playoffs. Quinn will bring the golden years back to FAMU, but he needs your help, so donate generously of $250 or more to his FAMU football program. And go Rattlers! And strike! And strike! And strike again!
Boy, I felt that strike,
again,
boy.
and strike again, and strike again. Coach, get me hype, man.
Boy, I tell you, I felt that. Hey, when Coach said we beat Appalachian State, boy, look. Woo,
Yeah,
I love that.
but we lived. I mean, we lived those years, right? We fresh out of school them years, right?
They have an extra special meaning for us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to have our friend Liv Antilla, aka LivForHoops. As I always like to tell you, LivForHoops or
Big time. She's aka Big Time now.
No.
Recently announced as let me make sure I get this right. I want to give Liv her flowers here. Recently announced during her first week broadcast with HBCU Go TV The 2026 Hoops Talent roster on IG. Liv, tell us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, so HBCU Go added me and another fellow Rattler, Ty Floyd, to their extended 2026 basketball team. I'm a contributor, so the roles you'll see me in is coming in, adding more context during like the HBCU Go crossover show, which is in between the men's and the women. I'll be doing segments like that, whereas Ty will also be a contributor, but you also see her on some sideline doing some play-by-play reporting as well. So they added 2 Rattlers. You can't go wrong there.
Amen to that.
On top of all the other sideline and analyst talent that they already had to their roster. So
yeah, they now at of course Kelvin and I were at the game, the season opener at Bethune. They brought out the full truck with the 6 or 7 cameras, the crew, you know, the I think they had 2 sideline reporters. They came all out for that game. Is that kind of what they're going to be doing pretty much every week when they travel to do their feature weekend games?
Yes, that will be the layout, the setup. Obviously, we saw they changed their analysts during the men's and women's game, but they bring a high quality product. So I think every season they've gotten better. The product, even the first year, it was really good, but they've continued to get better. And that's why they want to add, additional pieces of having more sideline reporters, having those in-game interviews that we saw during the Bethune game, adding more contributors in so that it can be really the full package, so that basketball, well, I'll speak for just basketball. Basketball can really have those in-depth conversations and information in order to keep, the alum, the fans engaged and knowledgeable of what's happening.
So when go ahead, Kelvin.
Just real quick. So to pull back the onion a little bit, I guess they saw some of your work and accolades, and they reached out to you. Is that how that goes?
I suppose.
As far as you know, hey, they call you.
I know.
so it's like it was like when you play pick up basketball on the street,
and they pick the people that they want.
Yeah. Okay, all right, that's what's up. All right.
The crossover show that you did between the men and women's game, what kind of things did you get into during that? Because obviously there was probably about a 30-minute window in there. So is that a like a 20-minute show? What kind of stuff did you get a chance to get into?
So for that segment this time, I was talking, it was really about bringing people back into the tenfold, because, there's the crossover between football and basketball, and a lot of people their teams were still playing throughout the basketball season, and football season still goes pretty long. So just talking about teams at the D1 and D2 level that had success in the out of conference, and then coming into conference play, teams that I specifically had my eye on to really be a team that people should look out for. So that was what I kind of dove into just a little bit. A lot of the teams people should know about, but that was really, it's like the integration back into basketball for a lot of people. So just giving them like, hey, did you know Howard is ranked in the mid-major top 25? And all their 10 wins at the time were all against Division I opponents. They didn't even play a non-Division I opponent. So just providing that information and context and teams to look out for as we are now in the full swing of conference play.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to tell you guys, and I'm going to tell you this, Liv, and I'm going to say it on the air. Watching you work, not only just covering women's sports at the Division I, Division II, and the NAIA level, and the men's game at the Division I, Liv, that's like that. I got a lot of fingers. That's six different levels. Liv, watching you work and being consistent about not only your praise, but the attention that you give man, it's humbling. I love it. I pray for you because I'm like, y'all keep Liv blessed, man, so that she keeps that energy up. You know, Liv does have a life outside of basketball.
I do, and I think people sometimes forget that. I'm like, I have a job and I have another job. That's my toddler son that keeps me very busy, but I really appreciate that. I hope people can feel like I really do love HBCU basketball, and it comes from me playing and like me really loving my experience of playing where I played, which was at FAMU, and being able to pour back into it and, you know, highlight these players. When I get messages from players like who left and went to different schools, like out of conference or like at PWIs, and they're like, you're like, thank you so much. Like we're not getting that type of like recognition where I am now. So, you know, as long as people feel like they're valued players and coaches, and we can bring people into the tenfold, like people who don't necessarily watch HBCU basketball now interested in it because they're like, oh, who is this team? And why are they winning? Why are they getting all this hype? Oh my gosh, they're the second leading team in the nation in offensive rebounds. Whoa, we need to watch them. So the more people know, the more interested they become because they don't know what they don't know. And some people, basketball just isn't their thing. And you have to, it's like a selling point. Like, you know, come watch, experience it. You might like it.
No, I mean, trust me, the passion is there. I mean, I love it. A long time ago, I mean, you know, that the way you cover it is the way I always wanted to do it. Absolutely. You know, it's just and sometimes I feel like, hey, it's great that, you know, you're basketball centric. And I know there's other people who are centric to other sports, and that's what's really fun. So I applaud everyone out there to continue to support. I mean, and so but anyway, all right. So
I just want to say quick that like everyone is important in pushing our HBCU sport, not even just basketball, but like we have all these HBCU medias, whether it's the O&G StrikeZone or Game Day or Pass or Plus or HBCU Nightly, all these, and the individual people who pour into it and dedicate it. Everyone is important in helping our sports grow, because I promise you, when it comes to rankings, when it comes to respect outside of our conferences, they won't give it unless we demand it. And we're like constantly talking about our teams and talking about players of like, why is this person not on a watch list? Why is this person not on a watch list? These are the stats compared to these people. So the more we advocate, the more we all talk and we at players, we tag them, we use their full names, the better it is for not only them, but like our brands and the HBCU brand in general. So everyone is important into the movement of, you know, growing our HBCU athletics, especially exposure.
Hey, well said. All right. So the game in Daytona Beach, heartbreak. I felt like I was back, you know, as Kelvin and I sat there and we just kind of stared at each other. And I looked at Kelvin and said, man, I feel like I've been here. I did this last year. I watched this same thing go down in March. Not only
baseball.
Look, I mean, I'm
football.
So tired of, boy, we on a
not basketball.
Let's not even go that deep.
BCU. I mean,
the women's game. Tough loss down at the end. We don't have to get into the particulars of the how. What are some of your major takeaways? I can go 1,000,001 places, but I'm gonna get out the way and let you talk. What are some of your takeaways? Positive things that need to be improved from what you saw from the women's game against Bethune. Again, we lost 57-56, close ball game, winnable, but it wasn't.
So heading in, I really didn't know what to expect, especially coming off the very close contest to an NAIA school and seeing how throughout out of conference play, they were kind of up and down. Like, for example, against UCF, they had a great first quarter and then it just went, you know, downhill. So we were getting glimpses here and there as the season progressed, but they just hadn't been able to put a full 40 minutes together yet. And that's really hard heading in to conference play. And I said, when you guys were talking about it before, I wrote in the chat that, you know, they're going up against another team that's really struggling too. Like Bethune was, they're a completely different team. They lost all their major pieces, mostly to graduation, but also to one transferring. They lost all their rebounding. So I was like, oh, this is a game that they can really get on the road under their belt, you know, to get some confidence and get some steam rolling. So when they came out hot in the first half, they were rolling. I was like, oh, okay, this is the energy they're coming with. That's awesome. And then at halftime, it was like the last couple minutes, Dorsey started getting going, which Dorsey is their best player this year. So I was like, uh-oh, like usually your best scorer is not going to be quiet a whole entire game. Like they just need to see a few hop in, like drop in the basket. And then at halftime, you guys didn't see because you were at the game, but they did an interview with Coach Gordon at halftime, and they were like, how are you going to stop Dorsey now that she's gotten going? She's like, well, we just have to get back to what we were doing and tighten up our defense. That didn't happen, not on Dorsey at least. And then Dorsey's ability to score opened up the floor for everybody else. And it was like the energy shifted from the teams. Like suddenly Bethune was rolling, they were trapping, they were all over. It just felt like the energy was shifted. What I can say that I liked about FAMU was that despite Bethune coming back, it's not like they gave up and rolled over. Now, were mistakes made? Of course. They most certainly were. I would love to see moving forward for Robinson to be integrated more. There's no reason that she should only be shooting 6 shots in a game.
Absolutely.
And most of them came in the first half, and then the second half they completely went away from her. And that is where I really saw the tides turn for the team, was the guards started getting way too trigger happy. I was like, wait a minute, she's the reason y'all were like, she was dominating, she was getting blocks, running the floor. She was that energizer bunny on both ends of the floor. And then literally they were like, oh, okay, we're good now. Like, no, I was even texting Bryan. I was like, they need to run it through her. I'm not saying she needs to take a million shots, but she needs to touch the ball. We've seen, you know, she's not one to, she's not a black hole. So she's not getting it on the block and shooting it every time. She can make reads. And so I was like, that should be the number one person they're running their offense through, especially when it's been, we don't have a consistent guard who has shown the ability to A, knock down shots, and B, consistently score the ball, like on a consistent basis. So use your post and then play off of that. Go start inside, because obviously the guard play has not shown to be a tremendous strength, and work it out. And then the last play of the game, I swear, I was like, I saw it happening. I was like, in my head, I was like, she's going to pass the girl from Bethune the ball. I was just like, and then she didn't even, like, in a pass like that, you should throw it over their head and let Purifoy go get it. And then it was game over after that. I was like, what a disappointing way to lose, to not be able to close out a game. But, you know, at least it was, I'm trying to be like Bryan, where he's glass half full all the time.
Don't worry, I'll balance you out.
Yeah, at least it came in. You know, we saw a half from them, which I believe is an improvement from what we've seen. And they didn't let it get out of control. So they didn't let, you know, Bethune's energy completely take them out of the game. They did fight. I do like Giles Jones. She got injured in that game, but she is a dog.
She is.
She'll get on the floor. She rolls like she's one of those players you need, because she's going to do everything else no one else is going to do. And I like that from her. Like, so I'm just hoping, you know, they have a really tough back-to-back games for reasons coming up. And it's going to really challenge how they're going to answer that loss to Bethune.
Let me make, in case many of you who aren't familiar, if you watched the game, number 11, when Liv's saying Robinson, that's Breasia Robinson. She's 6'3". It's the center. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out Gail. She's a transfer, went to UAPB. And I told Kelvin, I can't remember the last time FAMU A had a post player of that size that A runs the floor. She ran the floor well. She defended the perimeter. Great feet. I'm just like Liv said. I'm like, that's your feature. I mean, look, I love M1. I love Purify. I love all the other Camille. But look, if y'all don't use Robinson I don't know what the rest of the swag has out there, Liv, so check me on this. I think Robinson could, by the end of the season, be one of the best post players in the swag. Maybe.
She can be up. I would say the pool for post players this year isn't what we saw like last season. I think a lot of them are more forward-esque and guard type players.
Right.
To me, there's been no dominant post who's come forward. There's been young posts who I'm like, wow, they can really develop into something really good. Like Jackson State has a freshman post who I really like her game. She doesn't get a lot of minutes. I wish she got more, but there's young posts who I'm like, wow. So she definitely can be, the player they use in order to go at mismatches, really dominate and create something that other teams have not displayed is, a priority for them. A lot of teams are small. So they're like tallest player, 6 foot. Why are we not working on getting her the ball now? Because I'm telling you, for most guards in today's basketball, it's not something they just know how to turn on. They don't know how to magically just start giving a post player the ball when they haven't been doing it for 3 games straight. So she definitely could become a premier post player in the SWAC. But the hard thing about posts, they need guards to give them the ball.
Right.
Like, that's the whole thing. People are like, oh my gosh, the post player, like, why isn't she shooting? She's not touching the ball. And when she gets it, it's late, or they're giving it to them in bad positioning. So post players heavily rely on their guards in order to, utilize them correctly. So I'm hoping Coach Gordon, after watching the film back, really sees that as an opportunity to make her a highlight of the team.
Yeah.
A couple of people in the chat, or who was it here? Somebody was asking, Zenaria Robinson is the other Robinson. Now she's 6'4". Now she was not at the game. We don't get, it's not like professional sports where we get injury updates. All we know is we look out on the floor and we can say, well,
I wish we did. Side note.
I wish we did. I wish we did too.
Thank you for putting that out, Jeff. 100%.
Yeah. The only one so we don't know what Zenaria's status is. We can tell you that I thought what was missing in that game was Cornelia Ellington. Ellington, and I thought there were times when I think there were times when Purifoy got tired. Like Purifoy looked great in the first quarter, but then I thought
she got tired.
Yeah, she got tired.
And she gets sloppy when she gets tired.
Yes. And then I think we also saw what was something I brought up a couple shows ago when I was on, when Bethune started just trapping her because she is very fast, but she's so small. They were just like, what are we doing? Why are we not trapping her? And that's when they started making the comeback in the second quarter, because right when she would cross half court, they were just on her like white on rice. And you're right, Cornelia is not playing. And so that didn't give a ball handler that Coach Gordon is confident in putting in the game to replace her. So it caused, more turnovers, fatigue. It just, you got to just play with who you have. And I wish there was more confidence, because sometimes players do need breaks when they are that player who has the ball in their hand 90% of the time.
Right. NC Rattler, Nairo, she was there, but also not available in that game. So, and then I know there were a couple times when Kelvin, we saw when Coach went to try to give Purifoy a break,
bring it right back. She had to bring it right back
because
we kept turning the ball over. Yeah.
It was like, I sent you in there to be the ball handler, right? And it was like, oh, well.
They weren't even trying to catch the ball, right? I mean, remember one time he passed it to the girl and hit it on top of her head? I mean,
Yeah, that was bad. Tell us what can we expect from Grambling and Southern's team? Southern's women, of course. So the women play Grambling Thursday. Southern, of course, one of the top teams in the SWAC. Preseason favorite. I think you have them probably ranked top 5. Definitely in your top 5, right?
2.
What can the women number 2? Okay. I knew Howard was 1, so I couldn't remember where Southern was.
Yeah.
So what can we expect this weekend from these two teams for the women on the women's side?
I'll start with Grambling since they play tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Central on SWAC TV. That game is on SWAC TV, even though all the games aren't, which is crazy to me. But that's not here or there. So I think with Grambling, if you watch them in out of conference, they were battling injury like crazy. At one point, they were down to 7 players. So a lot of people were like messaging me like, what's up with Grambling? Why do they look like this? And I'm like, they're playing with 7 people. And if you know the Simmons kind of scheme, they press all game. So it's hard to run your scheme when you only have 7 healthy players. So, they were making adjustments, and now they returned almost every single player who was injured on their first game back. And luckily for both of these Louisiana teams have 2 conference games under their belt. So they were able to get going and against a quality Texas Southern opponent. So, Grambling battled against Texas Southern. I think fatigue got to them at the end because players are still not, full. But then they turned around and they smacked Prairie View. Like, they beat them worse than Southern did. They handed them the business, and they did it how we've seen Grambling do it before. Pressing and letting their defense turn to easy offense over and over and over again. So that's what you can expect on Thursday. Being pressed, a lot of ball pressure, and a fast-paced game. They play super fast. Their best player is Shania Nunn, who was just SWAC Player of the Week. She's a forward. She's a double-double machine. She really is. They have a lot of other pieces who are, I feel like they've been on and off. They're lacking consistency, to be quite honest. I think Shania even has, but they will run it through her, and other people will find their way around it. We will see a post-up matchup. They have a new player, because a lot of people don't know, at the break, you can add players as long as they weren't on a roster. They took advantage of that due to injuries. They added a really solid post player. I believe she's about 6'1", 6'2", but we can see a fast-paced game. If you've watched Grambling the past 3 seasons, they play fast, they get in your face, it's a lot of energy. Then on Saturday, they're going to have their hands full. Southern, so obviously everyone knows they got the 2 quad 4 wins on the road against Arizona and Houston, and I think that shows the level that they can truly play at. They do it with defense too. So it's going to be 2 high-pressure defensive games for this team. And see, when I was talking about Purifoy before, I was thinking of these 2 teams. They're going to trap her all game. All game. They're going to throw different size guards at her. Southern does a lot of they'll throw different defenses. So they'll go a man-to-man press, they'll switch it up, go a 1-2-2 press, they do a run and jump press. And for people who don't know what a run and jump is, essentially someone's dribbling the ball, they're defended, another defender will run over, and as they pick up the ball, the initial defender will try and jump the passing lane to get in the way. And with them offensively, they're an even team. They don't have anyone averaging double figures. They have when I did the last, they have 9 players who are averaging between 3 and 9 points. They're very balanced, and they just try and find the mismatch, and they'll attack it the whole entire game of like, where's the weakest link, and let's go at them. And so, but I do remember last year, this was one of the games that FAMU dropped at the very end. And it was like one of the games where everyone was like, what even just happened? So, both teams, I think they play very similar, and that's why when they play each other, the games are so good. But defense, high intensity. Southern likes to turn over 2 and get easy layups. So we'll see how the Lady Rattlers can handle the pressure and if they can stay calm and composed. That should be the goal. Their turnovers need to be realistically, because I will say Grambling turns it over a lot, but they have the largest turnover margin in the SWAC. So even though they turn it over, they make their opponents turn over a lot more. And they're second in the nation in offensive rebounds. So if FAMU doesn't hit the defensive glass, it's going to be a long night, a very long night. So, it's another chance. It's another opportunity to get better, take what you learned in the last game and come in and, knock off two really good teams that are predicted to finish in the top
At the
half.
top, right.
And the number one team, who literally, as of right, both of their games, Southern's games, they won by double digits, 15 and 19 points. So, go in there. We all put our shoes on the same. So,
see. Who was it? We were talking about turnovers. Who was it last year that there was the game where there was like a combined, it felt like 70 turnovers. We had like 35, and whoever we played, that wasn't the Bethune game last year, was it? At our gym at Lawson. It was FAMU and somebody, and I don't know if it was Grambling, but I don't know if you remember. If it
we always tend to be a high turnover team. We've over the last 3 years. We've struggled, frankly, with guard
turnovers and finishing at the end of games.
Point guard play especially.
Mhm.
And I'll just add what Liv said. Southern and Grambling go by 9, 10 deep.
Oh, so 10 plus. They'll go 12.
Yep.
They go deep.
Yes. And they're and Grambling typically is pretty athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like all 5'8" to 6 foot, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
If we're healthy,
both coaches will tell you they purposely, and they're not just subs to sub.
Yeah.
They
Right.
legit, like Southern, no one averages, they all average around 20, 25 minutes because Coach Funches is like, I want to play that many people because we stay healthier longer. We can keep our defensive intensity. And then come March, we still have all of our bodies. So, they all go deep, and that could also be an issue for FAMU with players that are out. And obviously players not, from what I can see, they're not being that trust of being able to play people. It could end up being very tiring, being pressed for 2 games, all 40 minutes, because Grambling presses all game. And for the most part, I would say Southern probably presses 75% of the game. They switch it up so much.
I'm just looking at the box score from our minutes played, and just to kind of underscore your point, we essentially were a 5-man team against Bethune, where Purefoy played 36 minutes, Maya Giles Jones 32, Breasia played 32, Camille played 33, and Shania McCarthy played 28.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's tough.
To go off of what Tim said, both Grambling and Southern have FAMU transfers.
Oh, yeah.
Southern has Olivia Delancey and sorry.
No, you fine.
That's all right.
Yeah, we impeding on this time.
Here. They both do.
You got Delancey Southern, right?
And then Demaya Griffin. My mind was going blank at Grambling.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember Demaya.
Both teams have 2 players. So Grambling has DP Preen, who's one of the best on-ball defenders. And then Southern has Deshante Edwards, who is she might be when they were playing these P4 schools, even the other schools' commentators were like, she might be one of the best on-ball defenders we've ever seen. The way she hounds and does not leave the girl alone, it's crazy. So we're going to be in for, what's going to happen. That's how I'm looking at it is I don't know which FAMU team is going to show up. I don't know what their mentality is heading into the games, because I've seen where, you know, they want to be competitors, and then on the other side where I've felt they've started games and kind of just like been lackluster and not cared.
You know, I got one last thing, Liv, and I want to know your input on this. And is Alabama A&M women's are they struggling a little bit this season?
I mean, so I could only watch the first half of the Valley game because it obviously went out. You know, they're another team who battled injury all throughout non-conference play. Like Kariah Beck was hurt. Kayla, who's the SWAC preseason player of the year, she was hurt. She only played like 7 games. I will say in that game of what I saw, Valley was just more hungry. And that's why then they turned around and smacked UAPB. But, you know, I guess you can call it a struggle because based on the success they had last year, it's like completely different.
Right.
So I think with a lot of these women teams, I don't know what to expect because so many were, one, either hurt, two, had so many new players.
Right.
And I'm a firm believer that playing Power 4 schools when you have a complete roster turnover does not help prepare you for conference play. It prolongs you building chemistry, prolongs you building and establishing roles. So I think right now so many teams are still figuring it out that we're not going to see peak teams till about like, no, some teams are like where they are, and I think they'll get better like Southern. But everyone else, they're kind of just like fighting to win these early games because down the line, I think it will more, you know, have that balance of the top and bottom come like mid-February, even maybe beginning February. It will really like start establishing like who's who in the pecking order.
Okay.
Gotcha. I don't want to take too much of your time up tonight, Liv. You've been great.
If you don't want to talk about the men, we don't have to.
No, we can get into the men. I just want to make sure you're still good with your time.
Yeah.
All right. So the men lost a close game, 87-84 to Bethune, 7 in a row that we've lost to Bethune. That's crazy to think that we've lost 7 in a row to Bethune. And most of them have been close games. This game was interesting from the standpoint we had these valleys where we would be. I looked up, we were down 9, down 10. Next minute, bang, bang, bang. We're right back in the game. Tie game. How many times did we have a lead, Kelvin?
Not much in the first half, but in the second half, we did, and in those lulls you're talking about, seeing the center around when we took our center out, because that was the one clear advantage we had, and it kept, for the most part, BCU out the paint. And so they're good when they run up and down the court, but when you put them in a half court game, they average. And so, but when our center would go out, they were able to get to the basket a little bit more easily, and it opened up some other shots for them.
Yeah, Miles Dalama, who's our center, when he was in the game, I thought we were really tough to score on in the paint.
Yeah.
When he wasn't in the game, it was a little bit easier for Bethune to get into the game or get to the paint. We were down 12 in the first half. We outscored them 47-39 in the second half, but that wasn't enough. I'm just looking
at
the
they got some
change.
home. They did have some serious home cooking the last 2-3 minutes, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell was going on.
it was tough. There were 4 lead changes in the ball game. From a turnover perspective, we were good from the fact that we only committed 11 turnovers in the game. 3-point wise, I thought we shot well. We were 9 of 22 from the 3-point line. We caught them. They were 5 of 17. It's hard to look at 1 or 2 statistics, Kelvin, to say why we lost this game.
No. Everything was pretty much even.
Yeah.
I just told you the reason why. There was some really questionable fouls and then non-fouls on our part that got a call and just some really, I don't know what happened. I know that that Reggie Theus was on the refs a lot. He got away with a lot the entire game. And if you look at the free throw, it wasn't a huge disparity in free throws.
No, we were 18 to 22.
Yeah.
Now they were 26 to 34. So yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
Down the stretch. Yeah, down the stretch. And that happened down the stretch.
And when you look at it in total, they made more free throws than we took.
Right,
so there you go. There's your one difference. They went to the free throw line 12 more times than us. So there you go. I see what you're saying, Hollow. We must have lost Liv with her connection. I know she had her other job to do where she was. Let me bring in Marcus Green, who joins us. Marcus, how you doing? Good evening, brother.
Doing good. How's everything?
Everything's everything, man.
Happy New Year to you, brother.
Happy New Year to you. First show of 2026. I don't know. Liv may jump back in and join us, but if not, I want to encourage everybody to make sure you're following Liv at LivForHoops on all your social media handles, on Twitter, Instagram. Again, I want to just tell you the appreciation that I have for her ability to cover. Again, there's more. Think about this, guys. There's more basketball programs than football programs, right? So talk about how much challenging and harder it is covering and staying on top of basketball, because everybody plays on Saturdays, really. Very few schools play on Sundays. So you got so then Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, teams, whether it be Division II or Division I, it's like the only days I don't think an HBCU program is playing a basketball game, with the exception of the guys out of the CAA, is Friday and Sunday. But everybody else is either playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday. That's challenging. So for her ability to be able to keep up, I just hope you guys really, when you guys see her on social media, let her know you appreciate her taking some time to come in and talk to us, give us a great analysis of the women's side and just what we've got upcoming. I mean, this is going to be a great 4 basketball games. Again, it starts on Thursday, 6:30 Eastern on SWAC TV, the women versus Grambling. Then we've got the doubleheader on Saturday, 4 o'clock for the women, 6 o'clock for the men, or 6:30 on SWAC TV. Then on Monday, the men take on Grambling State. Coach Pat comes back to Lawson. So I mean, it's going to be 4 great games. 4 great games. Yeah. Marcus, any basketball thoughts as you kind of digest the opening of the season against Bethune-Cookman?
Yeah, I had the chance to watch both games, and they're both riveting all the way to the end. Didn't turn out well for us, which is bad. But I guess for the first game, I didn't get the chance to hear you guys' reflections on the women's game. But one thing that, and I think I may even put it out there when Liv asked for observations of the game, was that Tanaja Purifoy came out scoring. That's something, of course, we didn't see her play a lot last year, but she was like the catalyst, not only for the offense, she was the offense primarily, and especially in the first half. And so that was surprising to me. I know she's had a lot of scoring recently, leading up in the tail end of the out of conference play, but just seeing that in person and seeing it on TV and kind of thinking that she'd be more of a distributor, and then just her just going off, was a pleasant surprise. So I'm glad to see that happening. I'd like to, get a little bit more integrated. So she was playing more She was doing more Trae Young than I expected. And just it was good also to see was that Brazina Robinson? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
Breasia. I think it's
Breasia.
Breasia.
I'm sorry, Breasia. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, she was a force in the middle. And so I was really enjoying that. And you're just kind of disappointed in the end, how things turned out. But overall, I think the third observation, and the only other time I had seen the young ladies play was when I went to the Howard game. And just seeing how they handle the trap much better. And I know it's been 2 months, so you would expect some improvement, but it seemed like the trap didn't even phase them. Whereas in game one, it was like, just something they couldn't get around to get through. And
Howard is a much better team, though.
Yes, yes. There's a Howard different. There's a talent differential between the two teams, and just to seeing how at least they threw it at us to see how we'd handle it, and it seemed like we handled it pretty well.
Bryan, I want to get this one comment in. I said it at the game about the women's game. And I have.
And while you do that, I'm gonna bring back Liv. Liv's coming back, so while you say that, I'm gonna bring Liv back in as well.
Okay, I have to say it. That last play where we threw the ball in the backcourt. First of all, basketball 101. It's 7 seconds left. You have the ball. And we use our last timeout. That's coming out of the timeout when we trying to inbound the ball. If you remember, we lost about 5 or 6 games last year the same way, where we had trouble inbounding the ball.
Yes.
So that was discouraging, number one. Number two, with that last play, I don't fault the inbounder because Coach Gordon did pointed and told her to throw the ball to that player. So she did what the coach told her to do at the time. So they both panicked. Number three, we had a serious height advantage. You had a 6'4" person. What should have been said in timeout is, hey, if the pass to our basket is not there, we're not going to throw it backwards. We're just going to throw it up and let our 6'4" center get it. And even if they knock it away or get in the way,
if they tip it, the clock starts running. Yeah,
they got to go to the length of the court. So the panic and the lack of basketball IQ in that moment was bad. Was a bad omen for me because I sat through and saw all them games we lost last year the same way. So I hope we clean that up.
Yeah. And that was the discouraging part because, as you said, we saw that happen so many times last year. And you're thinking we're so close to, can we win this game down the stretch? And this is a different team. And that's the thing. We can't. Right. The players are different. Because we were reminded about that all in off season, right?
Yeah.
Whole different group of players.
No, pause. We were reminded that this was her entire recruited team. I want to be very specific with us saying that because she said it so many times that this was the first season she could finally recruit all of her own players that she wanted.
Yeah. It's tough. So let's keep our fingers crossed and let's hope
let's be competitive.
Let's be competitive.
I'll be there.
And that's what we need, Rattler Nation. We need Rattler Nation in the house on Thursday night tomorrow. We need you there. The ladies look. They play well, so I don't want to discourage. This looked okay.
I'm shaking my head as in they built off of they were competitive against Bethune.
Yeah, they were competitive. This is we are going. I feel like we are going to be competitive against Grambling and Southern. I really do feel that. And I'm not being glass half full.
We have the same. We have one other Achilles heel. I told you I was going to balance Liv out. We got one other Achilles heel that bothers me. That also points to we had the same issue last year, and that is we're always going to have a quarter where we don't hit double digits. We have that 8-point quarter, that 7-point quarter. Against Bethune, it was the third quarter.
Yeah.
When they got back in the game. But we just not only were we not making shots, we weren't even getting that many shots up because we were turning the ball over. And we do it every game.
All right, let's go over to the men's game. The men's game, you know, when we lost there for a minute, Liv, what Kelvin and I were primarily talking about was the biggest. I mean, for a game that was rather even, the biggest discrepancy you could go to if you were statistically looking at this and saying, well, they shot 34 free throws, we shot 22, even though we were good at the free throw line. I thought 18 or 22 is good. Problem is, they made 26 of 34, obviously making more than we attempted. And then Kelvin pointed out the fact that also when we didn't have our big in the game, it seemed like Bethune got to the basket whenever they wanted. I'm going to also talk about, Kelvin, remember what I said? The moments when we were in zone, I was like, God, get us out of zone.
I don't know why.
Because every time we moved the zone, it looked like Bethune had resumed. Like, okay, hell. But when we went to man, we looked good playing man. We went to zone, it was like, Liv, what were some of your takeaways from the men's game?
I had said, because I did a little which I think I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of every week of like, what did you see from your team that you really liked? Just so we can start talking positive. But, you know, people still said their like issues. And someone brought up FAMU, and I said, actually, what I really liked is I saw some hoopers. People don't know that there's a difference between basketball player and a hooper. And what I saw from Jaquan Sanders and him and Arterio Morris going at it
they were
verbally and bucket for bucket. And so I'm like, oh, he showed me something tonight. He showed me he can back up the way he's talking, because Arterio Morris was like, he's a very highly respected player in the world of basketball, like 5-star, McDonald's All-American, has been at major P4s. Jaquan didn't care. He was talking that stuff. They was getting in each other's faces, but he was backing it up with going, they both scored 20, bucket for bucket the whole night. I was like, I like that, because I think that's something that a lot of, even in past years, a lot of what FAMU has been missing is having multiple hoopers, not just people who put on a uniform and play basketball, but people who take it personal. That's the difference. Basketball is personal. Real hoopers, you hate to lose more than you love to win. And I saw that from multiple Rattlers. Even when Shirley and one of the Hetty brothers were on the floor. Mind you, they both were doing too much. Hetty and Shirley were doing too much. But like, they didn't back down. They were all puffing their chests out like, what's up? And I was like, yup, what's up? Like, let them know. And so I think I saw a fight from them that, you know, we may have not been able to see throughout out of conference, because they were playing, you know, like some even teams with like mid-majors, but then some like P4s. I really thought TCU was a good majority good game for them until it went all the way left. But I did love, I think I said, I didn't think I said, I know I said that Sanders and Octave are really good at being able to turn the corner off of handoffs, dribble handoffs, ball screens. They excel so well at that. And I loved watching Jaquan come off and hit that midi. Like, I loved it. I was like, yes, like we need that. Now, if I forgot his name, so I apologize for calling him light skin, but the light skin post player who is not back, I swear, and I don't, Arizona's coming in my head. His name's
Tucson.
Yes. Okay.
Tucson.
Look at that.
Something
I think he's going to be a better post presence than Nadalma. I'm not, and I mean that very respectfully, I'm not a fan. I don't think he gives enough of what I would like to see from a post presence. But luckily for the Rattlers, a lot of the SWAC teams don't have that. They're very guard heavy teams. So, I mean, in a game where one team preseason was receiving media hype from people we've never seen talk about the HBCUs. Like, I'm talking about people I've never ever, they've never even talked, and I could tell because they were calling the school like Bethune. I'm like, who? Like, I don't even like them Wildcats.
I feel a meme coming.
Who? Like, who is that?
Bethune.
They were getting so much hype, and so that's, I promise you, they were all calling them that.
We ready.
When when they fought the whole game against an extremely like Bethune is extremely talented. Like on paper, they probably have some of the, best pure scores, but they battled and they fought and they did the things necessary to have a competitive game. And that's a great building block when they could have went in there and easily not been. So, and they have their hands both teams have their hands full this weekend. I'm telling you that much. So, and it's going to start Saturday against one. Oh, people think they're like, oh my gosh, all she does is just like, they get mad because I say the truth. I feel like, because I'm about to say I'm such a fan of Michael Jacobs from Southern. He's averaging 21.3 points per game. At one point, he was like number 3 in the nation of most free throws attempted. He gets there over 10 times a game. Like, no joke. He's so talented. And both teams, like Southern and Grambling, both play fast. They both want to play defense. What I see as a concern for Saturday's game is that Southern has a legitimate post threat. Malik, he's a where did he come from? He's Egyptian, but he is back to the basket. So Nadalma's gonna have to show up and be really productive because he can go. Mikey Jacobs is gonna get his points regardless. He always does, but that should be if they can really focus on taking away the other players, because they do. It's Mikey and then everyone else. Oh, they have and Fazel Oshie is like a 3-point shooter who's going to pull up from the logo. And he has the ultimate green light. Like Coach KJ does not want him shooting anything but threes. And he will. He doesn't care. And when a coach gives you the green light, of course you're going to take advantage, because why not? But I think if they can build off of what they did in game 1, and continue to progress and, tweak up some things of okay, I really am a fan of Octavian Sanders. I like Sanders a lot. I like him a lot. And for people asking about, I saw someone say KJ, in my opinion, he can be on the bench more than he's on the floor. I think other players just gave more than what he could give. And then Grambling's going to be a show. If anyone's watched them this year, they've definitely, they're your money's worth if you've seen them play. They've been on ESPN twice for top 10 plays. It's dunk after dunk after dunk after dunk. And they're a team who wants to get out and run. They want those high-flying moments to do the alley-oops. They shoot a lot of threes. We kind of know that's what Patrick Curry was trying to do, is he's an analytics. It's dunks and threes. We're not going to see a lot of that in between. And so it's kind of very similar teams. I feel like Southern doesn't shoot a lot of middies either. They're really just threes and inside game. So I really don't even have anything bad to say about FAMU men, because I was so I'm not going to say shocked, but I was pleasantly I'll say surprised.
They're right there.
I was oh, okay. I see it. I see the vision, because some players, it just hadn't clicked for them yet. And that was that was an eye-opening game, I think, for a lot of people, especially across the SWAC, because people didn't know what that team was going to look like, to be honest. They didn't know how the pieces were going to work out, of how, to be quite frank, people looking at the team and being oh, well, the old coach didn't take these players, so are they even going to be able to do anything? Because typically that happens and it doesn't. And then they brought in other pieces from the SWAC, late pickups, and sometimes when you have late pickups, they don't always work out, but the pieces seem to really be coming together. And I think when Tucson comes, it will be that added necessary punch on the inside that will make them even more competitive.
And I will say, because I've been to a couple of practice and I've seen him practice. The reason they bring him slowly because he was coming off an injury, a knee injury. But he's been practicing, and it just has been conservative. I was told when conference play he would be probably bagging playing. So we may see
Maybe
him.
we'll see his appearance on Monday.
We
I
may
don't
see him
really.
this. Yeah, we may see him this week. Is what I'm saying. Octave's been out. He only played like 4 games, so he had been out too. So we hadn't seen all the pieces together. But I did like what I saw. The only one I'm wondering about is Palmer. Hadn't seen a whole lot of him. Yeah,
Devin Palmer.
Yeah.
So I had seen. I don't know his status, so don't quote me. But I know he was previously in a boot, and he's been kind of in and out of a boot. So maybe he's still rehabbing an injury and he's not ready to come back, or they're not like, sometimes players be like, I'm ready. And coaches are like, no, you're not. But I know he was in a boot throughout the non-conference games. But I think he can add a lot for the team as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Does the fact that we weren't very deep in that game, does that concern you for this upcoming weekend against Grambling and Southern? Because we were only really 8 deep, and Caleb only played 7 minutes, so really we're probably only 7 deep.
Right.
That's I personally, as a coach, I think 8 deep is perfect. That's like the sweet spot. Does it potentially bring problems? Because the SWAC is like, it's fast, it's physical, it's extremely athletic. So does it bring potential problems? Yes, but I don't necessarily see that. The only game I maybe see that happening is against Grambling, because they're used to playing at the pace they like to play. And Crary's quick to grab someone out. Like when he's not pleased with someone, he hasn't played no games. He's like, get out. So they've gone like, you're laughing and I'm dead. Like, you guys, you've seen it.
Yeah, that's him.
They'll potentially go like 10, 12 deep. And so, but I will say Munoz he's averaging upwards 25 plus minutes. Roderick Coffey III is playing majority of the game, and then it's like the other 3 pieces are kind of working around them, giving the other 2 breaks when needed. So no, I don't see it as a problem unless foul trouble becomes an issue. So as long as they can stay out of foul trouble and stay on the floor, then no, because then otherwise then people get put in positions they're not used to being in when you got to throw them in now. But I don't see it as a major issue as long as they can be aggressive while keeping the fouls to a minimum, at least till the second half.
Right.
Man, I really hope we could. It would be nice to see Tucson. I mean, he's it's funny. He's listed at 6'11", but seeing him at the Bethune game, and now if Miles, he looks bigger than 6'11", to be honest. I mean, he looks about 7'1".
Yeah.
But he looks at least an inch or 2 taller than Miles, and Miles is listed as 6'11". So somebody's lying on these measurements. Probably so. All right. Just in general, Liv, as you look at the SWAC first week of SWAC play, anybody that caught your eye, caught your attention, that maybe you were like, oh, I didn't know y'all were coming like that in the first week? And
yeah, most definitely. I'm very excited about it. If you saw my rankings, which, shout out to everyone's rankings, but as someone who actively watches every single team, but a team, I watched them, I'd probably say about 4 times in out of conference, and I saw the pieces, really working together. I was like, oh my gosh, I see his vision. Is University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. This might be the year for Coach Bozeman. I don't know what changed his mind about like wanting to finally integrate defense into his system, but they figured it out. So what I like about them, and I'll just do a quick rundown. What I like about them is they have multiple players who can create shots. Everyone can shoot the 3. Jaquan Scott, who is a post transfer from UTSA, is a beast. He's a dominant inside big. I would say they probably go about 8-9 deep, but they are playing defense, and that's why their offense, I think, looks so good, and they're shooting the ball crazy good in the game. So they beat Alabama A&M and Alabama State both by double digits, which I think shocked everyone. In the game stats combined, they shot 51% from the floor, 53% behind the arc, cashing in 10 threes both games. They shot 82% behind from the free throw line. Versus Alabama State, they shot 41 free throws. And they were like legit. Honestly, and Alabama State shot 30, so that's, kind of a close window. And then the biggest thing for me was they had 17 assists both games. Keon Williams is one of the best guards in the league. They're an exciting, and I mean, they scored 90 and 95 points. So like, it's an exciting game because they score a lot, but like, they just look different than what we've seen the past few seasons. So I feel like they're the dark horse of the SWAC right now, but they'll be tested this weekend. My must-watch game of next Monday is Prairie View versus UAPB. So we have like the number 3 leading scorer in the nation in Joseph at Prairie View going against, why'd you make that face?
Number 3 in the nation?
Yeah. Number 3 in the nation.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, why are we not talking about this enough? But yeah, he's number 3 in the nation for points per game. He's at 23. I think he's at 23 flat right now. And going against them. So, I mean, the SWAC men is really, it's so competitive because someone had asked me, they're like, is this the most talented the SWAC has been? I said, I think the biggest thing is every roster, pretty much, most rosters, let me not say every, most rosters are deep with talent this year. So they have literally opening day. It was actually more than 19 than what I tweeted. 22 players across HBCU Division I men's basketball scored 20 plus points. Like Alcorn, 3 people on their team had over 20 points in one game. So like the talent is so deep this year that I think we're going to even see more teams emerge and more teams like slip up and like lose to other people. And to be honest, even though I hate the 12 teams making it to the SWAC tournament because it's so long. It's from the 9th to the 14th, you guys.
Just take the whole week off. I'm trying to figure out how to do that myself.
Going personally. I'm not going the first 2 days, so sorry to y'all. I looked at the brackets today, and I don't care to watch. It's like 9 versus 12, 11 versus 10 on the first day. I don't care. Sorry. I'm gonna go. My goal is to go. The 11th is when like the 1 seed starts playing on the 11th. The 1 seed, 3 seed play. So that's kind of like 2 days in is when some of the team's first game is anyway. But that's what's going to make the SWAC tournament kind of really more interesting. I mean, obviously we've seen like lower seed teams win, but just based on the talent and the depth this year, it's so exciting. And yes, the MEAC is having a major down year this year. The SWAC basketball this year is definitely like for men, it's crazy good. So UAPB for me right now, today, it could change into next week. So
yeah, it's a week to week thing.
It definitely is.
Yeah, just again reminding people, if you don't already have SWAC TV, get SWAC TV loaded up on your tablet, your phone, your Prime Video, however you stream. SWAC TV is right there. 4 men's games will be on SWAC TV on Saturday, part of the doubleheader. I'm assuming that the women's games will be in front. I don't know which game. Who does HBCU go have Saturday?
D2. It's Bowie State and Fayetteville State.
Okay, so no SWAC this Saturday. So 4 of the 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know the whole schedule, but at least there's 4 SWAC basketball games on Saturday men's, and then on next Monday, or I should say Monday, January 12th, there are 5. So not the full complement of games, but there will be 5 games on SWAC TV.
Which doesn't make sense to me, but at least we have
everybody's not,
we have something. So
Yeah. Some's better than none. Just
What
remember.
I will say, in case people from the SWAC office are watching, what would be nice is if the morning of they would put out graphics for the teams that are playing on SWAC TV so that everyone could be aware. Because even last weekend, I was like so lost in the sauce of figuring out, like, I was like, where's UAPB playing their games? Whole time they're playing on their YouTube. And
they usually retweet when the school sends it out, when they send out those game day graphics.
UAPB hasn't been putting where their game's been streaming on their graphics. Every team hasn't been doing that. So I just think even for branding of what SWAC TV is, because I had coaches who were former players in the SWAC asking me like, hey, what's SWAC TV? And I'm like, oh, it's like an app, like you can download or you can watch it on your computer, like it's free. All the SWAC games are there. So I think like real intentional branding needs to start happening behind it, of being like, this is what we're providing to you all. Because someone else, I was just gonna say, I was on this other show that was about like women's basketball, and they were like, yeah, like our problem is like HBCU games are like all over the place. Like we never know where to watch them. And I'm like, that might be fair, because last season they definitely were all over the place.
Yeah, they were.
And some of them you had to pay extra money for. Yeah. So I think for branding of being like, hey, on SWAC TV, catch these games, because again, not all of them are streaming on the TV. And I think to make things so easy for viewers, because I'm like, I don't like giving people any excuses. Them being like, oh, I didn't know. I checked the SWAC page. It wasn't on there. Like if they just had a template, they posted every single game day of like, catch these games on SWAC TV, playbacks available, whatever. Like, but
they've got the schedule. They've got the schedule. Like I'm on it.
Brian, no one is going and Googling the SWAC TV.
Yeah. Make it easy.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta make it,
I got you. Good point.
You gotta make it easy for the viewer, because then people share it to their stories. Other people, when you make people start Googling stuff, they just give up. They're like, oh, never mind.
And they do have that feature in the software, so it ain't. They already paying for it. They just need to use it and program it.
The one thing I was going to say, every school, though, and I have said this before, every school does need to get more involved in marketing SWAC TV to their fan base. Like, I don't think Florida A&M does enough to market and let Rattler Nation know that, hey, SWAC TV, even if it's that graphic, even if it's that commercial, retweet it at least twice a week so that the video runs. It needs to come from your account. And I know for a fact that every school doesn't do it, but they should, because you put content there. And then if you want this, the whole idea of putting content there is so that you can take advantage of the advertising dollars that the conference is helping get. But that's a whole nother conversation, another show. But yes, it needs to happen. Needs to happen not only from the conference level, but also our individual schools who are the primary feeders of SWAC TV. They too need to be more involved. And like you said, Liv, it ain't hard. It just takes a little bit of effort.
100%. Once you have the template, then it's done. Like, we just gotta intentionally invest in what we're trying to build. It can't just be, the here, damn type of thing. Like,
exactly.
Literally.
Hey, Leo, can we see that picture behind you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What is that?
That was one of my
graduation pictures. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with a basketball shoe and then
I thought that was Lee Hall back there.
And also, if you watched on the HBCU Go crossover, for anyone who was at home, they posted like 6 throwback pictures of me.
Yeah.
Playing basketball. I was like, oh Lord. But yeah.
I got a couple throwback pictures of Liv. Can I
where? Please do not post them up right now. I need to see them first.
Got you, Liv. I wouldn't do you that way. All right.
Well, thank you for having me on. Everyone,
thank you.
Please make sure you're supporting women's basketball. Like, that's why they moved the games to Thursday. Right, so people would support women's basketball. Make sure you're watching. The season really just started in the second there's 3 seasons. This is the 2nd season and it just started. So make sure you're supporting, engaging with their content, going to the games, watching online. Because, you know, if you don't support your teams, then who is?
Right.
Who else
Amen.
will? No one.
Amen.
So,
amen. Thank you, Liv. We love
Thank
you.
you, Liv.
Be well. Keep doing a great job out there. And make sure you guys follow at LivForHoops. Make sure you follow LivForHoops or Die Lonely. Bye, Liv. Good night. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Always appreciate Liv. You guys make sure you find her at LivForHoops and let her know you appreciate her. All right. Real quick, little 30-second break here. I need to run to the bathroom. I ain't gonna lie to you real quick. Let me take a
We ain't need to know.
let me get a quick second. We'll do a quick break, come back, and then we're getting into what the football coaching carousel staff might look like, as well as an update on some of our commits, transfers, portals, and all that good stuff. So we're coming back right after this very, very short break.
You ain't that fast. Make it a minute.
I know. I got to figure out. I'm going to figure out what ad to play here. Here we go.
This is Bryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Marcus, Kelvin here. Appreciate not only Liv for joining us in the last hour, but appreciate Rick Kinsey in hour one. Make sure you guys go back and check out any part of the interviews that we had or that you might have missed. If you're on the Pod Zone, go check out the BCSN Pod Zone on your favorite podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast. Again, BCSN Pod Zone. Do us a favor, download it, subscribe, rate, review. Amen. All right. Marcus, we've got our 2025-26 player transfers, FAMU football. Let's get into it because we got a lot of stuff here. Let me move over a couple of pages here so I can be on the same page with you, Marcus. All righty. Is this the right? I got the right one, correct, Marcus?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So let's we'll get going. All right. So what do we got here, Marcus? Fire away.
Well, this one's been going through a lot of transition the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
20-some players in the portal, and we had at least 3, maybe 4, and I tried to update it as fast as I could. Then once I got back with who our withdrawals were. So as of when was it? I want to say Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday we had 20 or close to 20, maybe just at 20 players that had declared on social media that they were jumping in the portal. And we've had at least, I want to say 4 who've withdrawn. And I tried to get those in. And one update I did not, and I saw it late when I came home, that Miles Campbell did commit to University of Texas at San Antonio. So I saw that today. So that's not shown here. I just updated it on my slide during the break. But we've had at least 4 withdrawals from the portal, in defensive back Justin Bostic, defensive lineman James Gardner, wide receiver Armand Burns. I'm sorry, Armand Burris, who I think his was late this afternoon. So, and then we also had, I guess you had on the previous page, not one up, go one up. Antonio, announced that he was withdrawing from the portal. So I'm interested to see. And we did get more. Yeah, we did see no commitments, but we saw like graphics with like little emojis and things in terms of running back.
I feel like it's there. I was gonna say Haley was one of those guys that had the little rattler emojis.
And there was at least one more. I'm not seeing it on here, but at least one more person that I thought had like the emoji or the question mark or something. And actually, I think he had the Rattler emoji yesterday, and then today showing highlights of some of his runs. Looked like coach's film of his runs. So, I don't want to put anything unofficial on here, but
word on the street.
Yeah,
it's all word on the street. What's the word on the street?
All appearances, Haley's gonna do a portal moonwalk. I'm not sure who else, but there are a couple of folks I'd like to see come back too. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Yeah, I think we. I don't know if he ever was officially in it, but I know our punter.
I saw that.
It was one that was. That was reassuring, and I'm trying to think who was. I'm looking at the list now. That's Gerald's keeping a running tab on, and out of the people in the portal, the only ones I've seen that actually listed offers thus far, I think Tyler got one from Alcorn. And Jed got one from Benedict today.
Yep.
And
Gardner got one from Hampton.
And he got a couple.
Yeah,
I think he got one from, I think he got one from South Carolina State too. So
and also I think Jack Carson Wentz, the long snapper, got an offer too. I can't remember to where, but I thought I saw something last week. And him is asking why they're changing their minds. Well, hopefully, Quinn is doing a good sell job. And I was talking with the folks. Kelvin, you're on mute. You're on mute.
We're going to talk about that shortly. Some of that potential influence. Word on the street.
But also, one thing I was bouncing on with the guys earlier is that the change in the portal window this year, going basically from January 2nd to the 16th. And at the time when a lot of these folks may have been jumping in the portal, or maybe at least half of them, we hadn't really named a coach. Some of the rumors are going around. So if they waited around until naming a coach, they might have missed the portal window because it's really contracted now. And there's only one in January. So I would think, and my speculation, this is purely my speculation, haven't got any information, but they more or less hedge their bets and say, okay, I can put my name in the portal, see who's going to coach, see if it's going to be a fit. But if I don't, and I wait till the last minute, then slots are gone. We don't know who the coach is because keep in mind we took a month to settle on Colsey the last time with all the rigmarole and the alumni and everything. And so if they did the same thing this time, given the timing of when Coach Colsey was let go, you're bumping right in either in the middle or the tail end of the portal window. So I suspect a lot of just hedging their bets.
Did we mention Burris, the wide receiver?
Yeah,
that he's coming back.
Marcus mentioned that Burris is coming back.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we got on here listed.
Now, I'm
4
hoping,
guys.
Yeah, I'm hoping that a couple more wide receivers,
Well, let me ask this. I'm gonna ask you what I asked you guys in when we were talking backstage, right? Among all these names, if you had to give me who if you had to say, give me 3 guys that you definitely want and put on the top of your list, who would you want back? Like if you had an opportunity to make that pitch, who would you love to see back?
Porto for sure.
Porto's number 1 for me because he was consistent.
Kanari Wilcher.
I agree.
Agree with that. And scroll down the list because you're only on 1 page, so we can kind of get an idea of it.
Yeah, and either Miles Campbell, maybe Jet.
Well, Campbell's gone. Campbell's gone, or at least we think he's gone.
Yeah, he committed. It's not updated on this list because I sent this to you, and then I saw
that happened this evening. It happened about 6:00. I saw you. Was it UTSA?
Yes.
Yeah, UTSA.
So it's not updated on this list, but I updated my personal one, but I didn't upload it between the break. For me, I would say the first 2 I agree with, and I'm tossing between Goldie and David Gardner. Because David Gardner, I think he had potential, and he played last year, so I'm not sure. And this is once again my speculation. He got some playing time. I don't know how much. I don't know if I'm assuming, and I haven't looked at the stats to see if he had more than 4 appearances, but playing time would not seem to have been a factor,
right?
At least based on that and his submission of his name. But I like 3A and 3B because Goldie produced and he showed a lot more restraint this year than in the previous years because between him, Ashton Grable, and Corey Collier, they were like good for like one sportsmanlike a game between the 3 of them. In 2024, it was like, okay, you could, if you had a 3-headed coin, you could flip a coin and see, or some dice, you could see which one was going to get the unsportsmanlike for any of our games last year. But Goldie, he still has some fight in him, but he didn't get as many, and he produced, and he was an added weapon for the wide receiver core.
Yeah, and for those who mentioned in Westmoreland, he's in the portal, and what I would say is he didn't play this year.
Has a year of eligibility still,
and he probably needs some fresh blood.
Probably.
And this
is
it's more of a Tallahassee thing, has nothing to do with FAMU.
Yeah. I would love to have Goldie. I would love to have. I saw. I think Goldie and Wilcher are the 2 outside of Porto. I would love to have Goldie and Wilcher back.
And
first off, I'm glad that.
I was just gonna say real quick to that point. Goldie is interesting. Also considering who the word on the street the wide receiver coach is.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that shortly. Kelvin, you had a great take about the quarterbacks. I'd love for you, if you don't mind, I don't know if we want to wait as we talk about the incomings, but just in looking at, we have 3 quarterbacks. All 3 of the quarterbacks from last season are in the portal. You had an interesting thought about which one you would love to see come back this year.
I would love Petty to come back, Jet, for multiple reasons. One, even though we bring in a high school quarterback, we bringing in, of course, SIAC All-American, who many, that's going to be QB1. But he also missed 3 or 4 games with injuries. He is a dual threat. He does run the ball. He don't look to run the ball as much, but he does run the ball. It's part of his game, and which is gonna make him susceptible to the injury. And you know, Jed is a junior college All-American who has playing experience, and I think would thrive, frankly, under the system that I expect Quinn to run. So you need 2 quarterbacks with experience. So I would love to see him come back and not have to develop someone or rely on a young player who learning the system and may not even get here till the summer.
Okay. Marcus, any thoughts on the quarterback thing?
Well, I mean, in Quinn we trust, so he's got an idea of who he wants to play, and I'm sure he's probably got a plan laid out, at least based on experience and fit in the system of who would be a nice fit. And I did see last week, and to Kelvin's point, something he mentioned, in the off camera was that some of the connections that QG has down in South Florida may be coming to fruition, and we saw that there was an offer made to a quarterback who signed with Alabama State a couple of years ago, but he did have a FAMU offer in 2021, and he started out at Dillard. He started out at Dillard, then he transferred to Coconut Creek for his last 2 years. So his offer came in 2021 while he was at Dillard. I think just coming off the it was in the early, it was like September 2021 or summer 2021. So it was coming off the COVID season where Dillard made some inroads into the Tri-County playoffs down there. So he had it only was on Instagram. It wasn't on Twitter. So I missed it because I wasn't on Instagram back then, but I found it in last week when he got another offer or re-offer from FAMU. And I'm quite sure, having Dillard ties and also being familiar with the SWAC, having played at Alabama State for the last 2 years, at least played one game, but he's been on the team, and goes about 6'4", 230. So he's kind of he's very Quinn-like.
Yep.
So we'll see if that comes to play. I know he can't talk on it. Quinn can't talk on it because he's not a signed athlete, but we'll see what type of style of quarterbacks. But I suspect this year, we may have some senior quarterbacks and then expect the quarterback of the future to be on the roster, or maybe a couple quarterbacks of the future.
Yeah, the kid from Reigns is like a clone model, I think, of Knowles, to be honest. Who's committed. Yeah, he's just like him, height wise, game style, how he play wise. So that's interesting to me. And I watched some of the tape of the kid, the high school kid from the Atlanta area,
Armand Parker.
Yeah, and he can sling it. He can sling it, and they played pretty good competitions, high level competitions. So
they played Class Florida A, 4A in Georgia.
Right.
Now, also a couple slides down, Brian. I don't know if you want to go through it real quick, but the latest NFL declarations. I mean, not the latest, but the ones that I've seen so far. So the 4 players, Thad Franklin, Ricky Taylor, Ashton Grable, and Corey Collier. No, there may be more, but those are the only ones that I saw.
All right. Where do you want me to go next? Which slide? I got the other 2 loaded up.
Let's go for the one with the 26 football commits.
Okay, football commits. What what slide number that starts?
Oh no, start with the first one because I rearranged it.
Oh, it does because it starts with softball.
Oh, that's the Olympic sports. That's the wrong one.
Oh, well, hold on. I don't have that one then. Where's that one at? You shared it with me?
I should have. I hope so.
I got the ones that say I only have those three. I don't have the. You said football commits.
2026 football commits. Let me see. Uploaded at 9:51.
I have 25. Shit. Yeah, I don't have football signings and commits.
Oh, sorry. Let me share it with you. I apologize. Sending it now.
Gotcha. There it is. Got it. See it. Downloading now. Kelvin, while I'm getting this down, you want to talk some of these coaching names. You want to do that now?
Yeah, let's preface this by word on the street. This is
word on the street.
Right.
Let me see if I got some breaking news or an appropriate soundbite for word on the street. Because this is not official. This is let me see. Sounds. Let me see.
Get the old MTV breaking news.
Yeah.
Sound effect.
Let me see here. What I got here. Word on the street. Yeah, how'd that sound? There you go.
If it went for copyright, we should have Streets is Watching by Jay-Z.
Streets is Watching. All right, there we go. So what do we got? Let's talk it out.
So it appears that staff is slowly showing up. And I know Quinn has met with his team. I understand there's around 50 to 60 players, including those who are out of the portal, who are part of this, and they kind of getting familiarized with potential hires. And I guess I'll start with offensively. Word on the street is that we have a running back coach who team was the number one rushing team in the FCS last year in Clinton Portis. That is, yes, the Miami great and pro great running back. He was at Delaware State last year. And for those who do not know, one of their running backs just signed with a FBS program today. They had a game.
Where did he sign? Where did he sign?
If you hadn't asked me, I would have remembered.
I'm sorry.
I can't remember. But he signed today with the FBS program, and they had games where multiple games where two of their running backs went for over 100 yards, and they had at least one game where they had three of their running backs go over 100 yards. So Clinton Portis is reported to be the running back coach, coaching experience, NFL experience, and you're going to probably hear this theme with most of the names that are projected. Wide receiver coach, Ron Dugans.
Wasn't he just at Florida State?
Yeah, Ron is a FAMU high grad, first of all.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, he's the high.
The high.
Yeah, I remember.
But he's coached at Louisville, Miami, Georgia Southern, and as a matter of fact, and Florida State. And as a matter of fact, when he was at Miami, he was a co-offensive coordinator for a season as well as wide receiver coach. But of course, he was drafted by the Bengals out of Florida State, and so he has NFL experience. He actually coached the season in the NFL too, but so he has the NFL and tons of college experience, and so it would not. That's why I said it would be interesting with Goldie specifically, because their time should overlap from the time he was recruited out of high school, and even last year he would Ron wasn't on staff at Florida State. He sat out, but I'm sure that they know each other. So I'd be interested to see what happens with that, and because I'm not sure what the relation is. But again, another coach who's experienced, NFL experience, college experience, world credential, successful experience at that programs that win. Then word on the street is there's a offensive line coach that's coming from Albany State, who's the son of a coach and has a really good, strong pedigree, experience. One of the few that don't have necessarily NFL experience in terms of playing, but has good coaching pedigree and experience. Another coach coming projected, word on the street, to be coming from Albany State as the defense coordinator. And he be coming as a safeties coach. And that's Chris Cash. Also played in the pros. I think college was came out of Power 5. I can't remember which one. And he actually had coached here for a couple of years back in the Joe Taylor Earl period. So another extremely experienced coach. And word on the streets that Billy Rowe will have a role on his staff also. Of course, Billy is a legend in the state of Florida, having won 3 state championships at 3 different high schools in the Miami area, and also was on Coach Willie Simmons' staff here. So he's back in a capacity, and word on the street that Coach Pope will be retained. He was on the staff, I think. I think Coach Coles actually brought him in his first year, but he was on that Alabama State staff that had that run of dominant defenses. And why does that matter? Because word on the street, Ryan Lewis is your defensive coordinator, who was the defense coordinator at Alabama State for 4 years prior to last year when he took a job with Trent Dilfer at UAB as a position coach. And of course, Trent got let go, so new staff came in, and he happened to be available because of that. And word on the street there was a pitch from another HBCU, but he's a Florida guy. He's a Broward County guy. So him and Quinn already know each other, and our money might be a little longer. So Ryan Lewis coming in as another highly respected and decorated coach coming in at DC, and DC and linebackers coach. And I hear Larry Williams is going to be on his staff at some capacity. Larry is another guy who's worked at FAMU, went to FAMU, FAMU grad, first of all, but worked at FAMU. He actually has a facilities background because as a GA, I remember Larry from working in the facilities planning and construction, doing the AutoCAD stuff. But he's coached at a lot of places, Tennessee State, some, I believe, Flomo, or one of the down south. He's been at a lot of different places. And what I would say, I'm familiar with a lot of these coaches. They're really good coaches. They're really good people, and they're really connected. So acquiring talent, kids will want to come here, and I guarantee we'll see speed. We won't see running backs. I guarantee you, with the names I just called, we won't see running backs going 70 yards on us every game. We'll have somebody back there who can go get him. So
that'd be nice.
I believe. Did I miss somebody?
I had a question on the D line. Who'd you talk about in terms of the D line coach?
Don't know yet. I hadn't heard word on the street. Hadn't told me nothing on that one.
Okay.
Oh, and I think the tight end coach is I think being retained.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
Who was the tight end coach?
Casey Warming.
Casey, okay, yeah, because Casey's been doing a lot of
yeah.
He's been real active in the recruiting process. I've seen his name be tagged a lot.
Right.
Okay. I know a lot of people are curious. Does it appear as if Quinn is going to not only be the OC but the QB coach as well?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
I think there's a few possibilities. Okay. He could if he had to. I don't think that would. I don't know for sure, but I think at least from a quarterback position coach standpoint, he may have an interest in someone.
Can we read into Armand Burris coming back? And we did see the post, Coach Burris thanking Rattler Nation, saying that, you know, he enjoyed his time, he's gone. But obviously that was this morning. And then we saw his son turn around and take his name out of the portal. Can we, do we feel comfortable, or can you read anything into all that? Or maybe that's a little too presumptive on my part?
I mean, you can read into it, but I would just say, I think what Marcus said is correct. I think a lot of kids being proactive with the short window. They didn't know who would be coaching, you know, their positions and what kind of opportunity did they fit the new staff. Did they even, or were they even wanted by the new staff? So I can understand some of those young men getting into the portal. And also I would say it depends what kind of feedback you get. The problem with jumping in the portal and not having a place to land is that a lot of kids gonna get stuck in the portal. There's over 5,000 kids in the portal, and it's probably at most 2,000 to 2,500 spots available right now. So I believe that, along with, you know, a lot of the staff started coming to the field house and kids being able to actually have someone to talk to and, you know, find out what's the plan and feeling like, you know, well, I have an opportunity to stay and develop under you and compete. Yeah. But I mean, like say, if you ain't got no offers, bird in the hand is better than two in the bush.
Recruiting coordinator, I see Marvin kind of asked about that. Also, while he's mentioning positions that were discussed, general manager was another position I know that Quinn wanted. Have we heard anything on those two fronts?
Nothing that I can say. I would say a couple of the names that I mentioned, I didn't mention positions with them, so maybe one or two of those names may fall into that category. But no, I can't speak to that at this time.
General, let me ask this. And you guys, when you guys hear the general manager term in the college level, and I think I heard this interview somewhere else where the general manager in the college is almost like the recruiting coordinator. But different than the football ops guy. And I guess every coach has to decide what he wants that role to be. But what are you envisioning? What are you hearing? What do you hear in other models at other schools? And obviously you have to scale it in proportion to our financial situation. But what does a general manager at our level look like to you?
Well, we don't have many HBCUs that have that right now. But what I would think it would mean is someone who is going to kind of help with the roster building and management of that roster. Maybe also some opportunities in terms of sponsorships, getting kids involved with community type things that administrative type things, not on any on field, actual technical or coaching things. And that really is defined by what the head coach is looking for. But in my mind, those are the kind of things that I would think a general manager would do.
Marcus,
same with me. I would think there would be more like a roster management and perhaps the front person. You know, we talked about this a year ago. If you go back and look at some of the clips, whether colleges in general are moving towards the NFL model, but I would expect someone who would be the general manager would be the front person to deal with player agents, for lack of a better term. I guess that's what we call them now, the NIL agents that are representing the players. That it would almost be like the negotiations you see at the professional level, where you have your general manager and your money person. We might not have a capologist per se if it gets to that point, but someone who has the expertise in doing that and having to manage the amount of NIL and revenue share money, and speaking with the representatives for the players who are in the portal, or even high school players if they have representation, to understand and coordinate with the coach or the coaches, because this is probably coming to all sports, but we're talking football now, to make sure you get a player with the talent, the desire to come to the school, but also that you have certain funds allotted by position or a certain amount of funds per position, or also getting feedback from the coaches on what the priority is for that. So be more of administrative, more of a general manager and director of player personnel, like on the NFL level, kind of a convergence of those two roles.
Okay.
And they may not get involved in recruiting, but I would think it would be more like roster management, and then recruiting may be handled separately, but they all have to go hand in hand, because now you have to deal with the financial aspect and the team building, team roster, and team chemistry. So everyone has to have some input to make sure they select the right players.
Well, let me ask this tonight. Matt put this out, and he says he would like for Quinn to elevate to become more of a CEO with his coordinators running the day-to-day. But year one, he may need to be more hands-on to show how he wants it done. I want Quinn Gray to be what Quinn Gray is, and what and I say that because I think maybe Quinn's best asset is his ability to call plays. But I don't think you can't. I don't know why there's a perception that you can't do both. Why you can't. Now, I guess that'll come, people will look at that way if one side of the ball is not doing well, right? Or if you're meddling, and let's just say here's something. If you're preventing one side of the ball from being at its best, then we want the coach to stay out of the way. But I think if Quinn Gray's best asset is calling plays, and the one thing that I will say that I noticed about Albany State when they came to FAMU, the fact that his quarterback knows his offense well enough to be able to run it and make it look like what Billy Joe used to run, which is where and Quinn was on our show. He talked about this, right? The quarterbacks who know his system and have studied it, they know how to make the reads from the line of scrimmage, because that's how they were trained. Quinn Gray was trained under Billy Joe, and you heard the promo where he learned how to run the offense. So in terms of being a every down offensive play caller, he doesn't necessarily have to be that guy, because if his quarterback is well trained, then most of the time, most of the plays, the quarterback knows what to do. I don't know. I mean, I just, I don't.
Well, I mean, I don't think Rattler Nation, you got to convince us because Coach Simmons did it.
That's another example. Simmons did it, and even though
after KJ,
yeah, I mean, look, he called it. He had Simmons had Joe Henry in the role of OC, but we all know Joe Henry was really more so dealing with the line and just making sure guys were in place. Make sure your personnel is where you need to be so that when Simmons calls the play, that the right group and personnel gets out on the field. So, yeah. The head coach, OC, I think the concern is him being the head coach, OC, and QB coach. Well, I mean,
I don't think we said that's the case.
We've had that though. We've had that now. I think we've had that in
but,
two
but
different.
That is not. But that's not ideal now, especially in
No, I get it. I mean, sure, we could get a quarter. If anything, you want somebody to be the quarterback coach. But again, I will tell you, the quarterback coach, the training of being the quarterback coach happens in the off season. So whoever you bring in as the quarterback coach, I hope that we have the quarterbacks in by the time spring ball starts. That's the one thing I did say that I can say that in my conversations with Henry Burris during the football season, he talked about the fact that, man, if he could have had Jet and if he could have had the guy, if he could have had 2/3, if he could have had, the two guys who weren't there in the spring, if he could have had them in the spring, I mean, who knows what guys would have been further along than they were, because working with them and the fundamentals that they need work on, you don't do that. You couldn't do that as much during the season. That work gets done, in January, February, March, April. That's when that work gets done. So if we have a quarterback coach, I think the ideal situation is you have your quarterbacks, 2 or 3 guys in the spring, and hopefully we have them in the fall. Remember, we had 5 quarterbacks last spring, and then we come into the fall with 2 of those 5 guys.
Yeah, because you brought in 2 guys after the spring.
Yeah, and then 3 or 4 guys left.
Yeah.
So, all right, Marcus, I've got the graphic here. Let's see. For verbal commits and signings as of January 5th.
Yeah, I didn't change the date, but actually I updated it this evening when we saw we got a high school commit earlier.
Wait a minute, say that again.
I updated this evening, but I didn't update that date.
Oh.
So it's actually as of 1/7.
All right. Let me go through this.
And yep, go through real quick.
All
right. So these are the signed players. So we had 2 players signed in December, the early signing period. Now I do not know. Well, I guess in theory, since Coach Colsey was let go after they signed, I guess they could request a release from their letter of intent. Don't know if that's happened yet, so I don't know the status of that. I haven't checked their social media. I haven't seen any step back, but there were 2 offensive linemen, and both from South Florida, one from MacArthur High School, and I think he was at Western Davie High School last year, and that was Jordan Davis, and he was rated a 3-star offensive lineman. We have Shamari Bowens from Miami Southridge, and both of them are signed. In terms of a commitment, now once again, this is right around that interim period. Mikkel Reed from Georgia Military College. So his date, I can barely see it because you have the thing up, but it looks like it's 12/13, either 12/13 or 12/18. So I don't know to what degree, he'll still be, desirable or if he meets with the coaches, have outlined for the offensive line, but he has committed. Terrell James, that was a commitment we got last week. Defensive lineman, originally from Florida. Won a state title at Lake Wales a couple years ago. in his senior year. He's rated a 3-star player, and he's been hit at a couple of schools. Started out at East Mississippi Community College, and so he's been a couple of different places in Murray State and Arkansas State. So I think he's had a short stint at Arkansas State. I don't remember if he stayed the whole summer, but
would he qualify as being Quinn's first commit?
I guess based on the date, yes.
Oh, okay.
But I think he was one of the ones that also tagged Chris St. John, who is our presumed outgoing defensive ends coach. So I don't know what role that plays in, but I do say the graphic has Coach Quinn's all in, Coach Quinn Gray's all in tag at the bottom. So I'd imagine that he's probably staying in.
All right.
Next, Armand Parker. This is one of the QB offers that we have. Very quick turnaround, 56 days from offer to commit. And he played, once again, as mentioned before, Class 4A in Georgia. And the team, I think they didn't make the playoffs last year, but he started to turn the corner last year as a junior. And then they made the playoffs this year. So he may have been an under the radar recruit, but we'll definitely have to see. And he goes about 6'1", 185 out of Locust Grove High School, which is out in suburban Atlanta. And he did
like
get
those Atlanta
quarterbacks,
don't
we? The next three will probably be the wave of Albany State transfers. So Xavier Herndon out of Norcross High School. And so he, started out and has been with Albany State for the duration. So he was there with the old coaching staff and with Coach Quinn Gray.
First team all SIC, right?
In 2023.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 03. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Isaiah Knowles, I'm sure people have studied this ad nauseum, in depth. But, he's a 2-time reigning offensive player of the year for the SIAC. Started out the Naval Academy, native of Seffner, Florida. Started out Seffner Christian, and then made it to the state semifinals his senior year. And you can see the playoff or postseason collegiate activities that he's participated in. Corey Deuce Petty, wide receiver, slot receiver, won a state title at Warner Robins High School, and then actually he played with a former FAMU commit last year, I think Davion Parker, who eventually ended up at, I want to say Alabama A&M, but I think Davion Parker was one of the signees that was in that interim period when Coach Simmons was just coming off the Celebration Bowl and we transitioned to Coach Colsey. But he won a state title with that other wide receiver in 2021. And he played at Tuskegee, Georgia Southern, and ended up at Albany State. And just today, Winton Jones Jr., a defensive back from Palmetto High School in Miami, and they made it to the Class 7A state semifinals this year.
All right.
Now, the next category, and I couldn't get the gif to actually, do the, I don't know, man, but this is the previous commits from Colsey staff for the status unknown. So these are going to be all the kids that we talked about before. So that also includes Cedric Kelly out of Creekside. We can go through these real quick because people have already seen them. Ignacio Zalatia, offensive lineman from Cardinal Newman. And keep in mind, both of these first two players won state titles for their respective states and classifications. The next one, Anthony Bell, was in the state title game against Raines High School, so he's an offensive lineman for Miami Northwestern. Don't know what's going on there. Malik Hope played for Leonard High School, and you can see they made it to the Class 6A playoffs. They noticed none of these players signed, at least as far as we know, signed on signing day. Alante Reese out of Choctaw, I believe they also made state semifinals this year in Class 4A. TJ Cole, state titleist quarterback at Raines High School. And we offered him way back in the day, too. And I did notice some of those commits. I couldn't find a good picture of Casey Jean-Baptiste, but he was a JUCO offensive lineman who committed to us a while back. And Jalen Lurie, a local kid from Tallahassee, who made, and actually this isn't updated, but he also made the Tallahassee Democrat All-Big Ben first-team offense. So I need to update the slide, but we're not sure where we stand with him. But hopefully, and with Quinn coming on soon, and local ties, that might be a bolster to the wide receiver core. And we have two athletes or DBs, one from Leon High School, Kylan Johnson, and also another one from Godby, who also gave us verbal commitments. Devin Anderson verbal commitments in early December or late November. So we just don't know where we stand with those folks.
Gotta love a kid who glosses himself Showtime. Gotta love that. All right.
We have a couple. Yeah, we have a couple decommits. So, but that's all the players that are like in a no man's land so far. I mean, we don't know what the status is, but we'll see. And I guess Coach Gray will have to evaluate whether they fit and whether they're those players that they haven't already committed and whether they'll fit where he's trying to go in terms of position of need, in terms of his assessment of their value, their talent level.
Good stuff, Marcus. I would encourage everybody during the course of the next. Again, the portal is open until next Friday, 16. So
we've been busy.
Yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done. Obviously, again, the press conference, introductory press conference for Quinn is Friday. We anticipate having a special guest on next Wednesday. So we hopefully that will come to fruition next Wednesday on next Wednesday's show. So make sure to lock in for that. I'm sure over the course of the next week between now and then, there's been a lot of guys who've gotten offers. I know I haven't been retweeting. I like them. Like when they get them, I end up liking them. But I mean, it's a lot of guys getting offers. So we'll just have to kind of wait to see who actually commits over the course of the next week and a half. When the classes officially begin, Kelvin?
I believe they
Monday.
A little professors reported back today, I think.
Okay.
But I'm not sure, man.
Okay. All right. Thought you meant. So I mean, a lot of guys are probably, if you're gonna commit, you probably got to get in and commit soon, so that way you can get all those classes and things done. What's the anticipated number that we'll have for the spring, Kelvin? What are you? And that's a question that hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to our special guest about next Wednesday. But from what you're hearing, what do the numbers look like going into spring ball or spring practices or spring workouts rather?
Right now, I would guess that you're going to probably have a walk-on period, but my guess is the numbers will be a little down from where you would want it for the spring. I'm going to go 70, 75.
Okay.
because we lost 30 because of graduation, and then you got still at least 10 to 12 who in the portal. So that puts you to 40 plus.
Right.
So
okay. All right, sounds good. Anything else that you want to that we need to be kind of looking out for, Marcus or Kelvin, here as we get ready to wrap up the show?
Nothing to think of.
Okay. A lot of people saying classes started today, so
yeah, I know the professors was back today.
Yeah. All right. Well, gotta love that. Okay. Well, let's make sure you're following us on our social media handles. O&G StrikeZone is where you can definitely lock in and stay locked in with us in terms of what we have available. We'll make sure to retweet and repost anything that we see. Especially anything that comes from Gerald Thomas, GT3. Gerald's been doing a great job on the Tallahassee Democrat front. He's keeping up with things, so you can follow him there and keep up with us as well. Got to thank Rick Kinsey for joining us at hour 1. Liv Antilla joining us at hour 2. Don't forget the press conference on Friday at noon. It will be streaming on all of the FAMU Athletic pages, assuming it'll be YouTube, definitely probably Facebook, probably Instagram as well. Make sure if you're in Tallahassee, be in attendance. Hey, and then more importantly, be ready. Not only are we, as Rick reminded us, we got to be all in for Quinn, but should we be so fortunate to see those preseason deposits for season tickets, that's the biggest way, one of the biggest ways that we can show our support for the upcoming season by being a part of the season ticket drive, is what I'll call it.
Hey, Bryan, It looked like the site was paying attention to what Liv was saying about putting a graphic out there so people know where to watch your games at, because it just came across my timeline. Sad games for the week.
They actually have been doing a good job of that since January. The SIC has been doing that. I noticed they started doing that. They started doing that in football, actually, but they have done a good job all season of promoting where their games of the week are going to be. Now, the SWAC, in all fairness, the SWAC does too. If you go look at that graphic, but you gotta, I don't know. It's just, I get what she's talking about though, from that perspective though. We need the schools to, we need the schools to be part of the process in promoting the games. Don't forget women's basketball, home against Grambling Thursday, 6:30 Eastern on SWAC TV. Should be a good game. Great breakdown by Liv. In case you missed it, hour 2, go check it out. Then on Saturday, we got a doubleheader. Women first, then men against Southern on Saturday. And then on Monday, it's Grambling State. Coach Pat comes back to Al Lawson. So that'll be a fun environment. But if you are in town, be in attendance. Maybe the 100 will be there. The students will be there. Hopefully we can see some great crowds. And we look forward to watching it on SWAC TV if you're not going to be in Tallahassee. All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show, folks. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for being a part of it. Appreciate everybody in the chat that's been a part of it on YouTube, on Facebook, watching everybody on Instagram, and watching on Twitter as well. We appreciate and love all of you. Hit the thumbs up and the like button, however and wherever you're watching the show. And then more importantly, share the information with some family. Great breakdown by Marcus. So I know a lot of you got questions. Make sure you share it. And then some great breakdowns on basketball with Liv Antilla earlier. And then, of course, Rick Kinsey. And let's all get behind the fundraising drive. The All In Restore the Strike campaign. It's real. We are all in for Quinn, and we can't wait for Friday's press conference. John Davis, the VP and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, and Quinn Gray, the 20th head football coach, will be introduced. All right. For Marcus and Kelvin, I'm Bryan. Thanks for watching tonight's show, family. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Let's see if we can get 4 wins in the Lawson Center in the Snake Pit this weekend. You know, anything is possible if we believe. All right, Rattlers.
Anything possible.
Exactly. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks, everybody. Be well, be safe. We'll holler. Peace.
Thank you.